Cadence. Okay, song's over. You can start. All right, Cadence, you said I could start. Here we are. Thank you all for coming. You know, I love you guys. I know there's a few of you in the chat. I forgot the number, but we'll just roll with it. I got Will as usual. Yes, his last name is as usual. And Andy from
AKA
Divine Disbelief, and the famous Miss Jenny.
What do you want?
So,
leave me alone.
Shut up, Jenny. Jenny, how are you today? Is it getting better at all?
Oh yeah, I got to sleep for an hour or so, so I'm better. But I had a really, really, really bad day. I'm definitely not going to talk about it on live.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm glad it has improved. How about that?
So to continue our conversation that we were having earlier, so just die poor is the synopsis of that with
okay, so just so everybody knows, we were talking about I was talking about when my mom died that I was mad because I didn't really get any of her stuff, and you know, I wasn't in any of the decisions, and I wasn't the only one in the family, but anyway, who did that is neither here nor there. And I, you know, to this day I'm still upset about it, and it was more because I wasn't included, not because of the stuff. And then Will and Andy were saying, well, you know, money when it comes to inheritance and stuff, money and property is, you know, splits up families and makes people mad and everything. So that's where we were. Go, Will.
When my grandfather was an amazing human being. First Hispanic principal in LA County, was a great guy. He accumulated some money over the years, you know. He bought this beautiful house in the suburbs of Los Angeles. He took my grandmother around the world. He died at 88. She lived to be 99. So, you know, the fact that he made all that money was a good thing because she didn't have to work, and, you know, she never had to work. She was always taken care of.
Right.
But when she passed, nobody in my family wanted to help me empty the house at all.
They want the money and the stuff, but they don't want to do the hard part.
So backtracking, I own I basically own a construction company. So when it was my grandmother's house, I'm like, okay, let's just put this stuff in storage and let's paint it, because we were going to sell it and it was going to go to the 4 children, because that's just how it goes. You know, grandkids don't have say. No one has say except for the children. Okay. So long story short, my uncle sued my mom. My aunt and my other uncle ended up backing my mom, all because they were presuming that my grandmother had money. They had borrowed hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years. They, you know, there's always backstories and stuff, but my grandma barely made it to the finish line. She moved in with my mom because I'm Black and Mexican in a Hispanic community. Grandma doesn't go to a home; she comes to your home.
Right.
You know, it's a cultural thing. So,
and and I think that's the way it should be if possible. I mean, sometimes people can't.
It's so
do anything, but having them in the home and even getting in-home health care,
exactly,
you know, through insurance is better than having. Those places are horrible. People are getting, like, they die of diseases that they didn't have when they went in because they get them off of somebody else. The food, I've tasted that food before. It's horrible. It's fucking horrible. You know what? My first ambulance job, I went around to nursing homes and picked up people for doctor's appointments. That's how I started out as an EMT. And I did that for like 6 months. It was fucking horrible. We'd come in the room and somebody'd be laying there and piss. And I'd be like, hey, nurse, can you clean them up? I got to take them for a doctor's appointment. You have 5 minutes. You know, it's horrible, man. It's just the staff isn't large enough. The facilities are falling apart and the food's horrible. And they want to hire half the staff they need. It's like teachers, you know.
It's the same thing.
40 kids and they should have 20. Same thing.
So we got her an in-home nurse so we could watch them. Let's be real.
Yeah.
You know, because people are on their best. They're on their best behavior when there's other adults in the room, in the house, and you know,
anywhere. In the house.
Yeah, and that, you know, at my mom's house, I walk in with my son like I own the place. So at any moment I could walk in. You know. So long story short, I took everything out of my grandmother's house and I put it in storage. So they really didn't know all the stuff that was in the house. They sued each other for stuff that they remembered. A year goes by after she passed. They came to find out that I'm the one who basically maintained a majority of the stuff. My uncle has sued me 4 times and lost 4 times over paintings and things that are literally sitting in. And I even said in court, like, I'll give it to him. The judge was like, "Shut up, you're winning. Shut up." He's like, "Your uncle is such an a-hole. I'm going to teach him a life lesson right now."
It just doesn't pay to be an asshole.
But now, like if I see my cousin, I'm gonna punch him. We're gonna get down. Me and my cousin hate each other. Me and my other 2 cousins hate each other. And these are like, hatred is the pathological descent into violence. You have to know someone to hate them. It can't just be like, or you make up something in your head and then you meet them and there's many.
Yeah,
pathways.
that's why I always say I love everybody. Until you show me you're an asshole and I don't like you anymore.
But my whole point
I
is
have no reason not to love everybody.
My grandmother,
I just assume they're good people.
She had tons of money. She barely made it to the finish line. Her house was the asset because she lived in one of the best neighborhoods in LA County. And then
Theo, what are you doing?
And now I have stuff. It's stuff. And it's dated stuff. It's way out. It's from the 60s, 70s, 50s even, And every once in a while, like,
dude, but don't you know you could start selling that shit now and make a lot of money because everybody's into the 70s stuff right now.
Oh, I have.
Like if somebody has old original bell bottoms, you can probably make $100 off them easy. Maybe 2.
But now it's we all hate each other over material possessions.
See, that's what happens.
And my family, we were close. Like we all grew up together. We went to the same schools. I'm a different color than my cousin. My older cousin was like, "No, that's my cousin. If you mess with him, I'll stomp you, So we were really close. And now we're going to fight each other over stuff. It's the dumbest thing. And to me, I'm like, you guys can have it. But now it's the principle. It's like, no, you can't have it.
If you would have just came over and talked to me and been nice to begin with, shit would have been different.
Her house was so big, it took me 6 months to take everything out, tarp it, and paint it. Yeah. That's how big her house was. Because I did it by myself. I have a giant truck, but you can only do stuff Egyptian style with dollies and levers and,
Right. So. Right. What about you, Andy? So you've dealt with that as well, like somebody dying and the repercussions.
Well, I've seen it happen with my adopted family, definitely. And like we were saying before, have a will, make out a will. I had a will probably since I was in my 30s, and as soon as you have kids, you should have a will, basically.
I was always afraid if I wrote up a will, it'd be like bringing it on faster, kind of like bad luck.
Well, the thing is, when you live in constant fear like I do, right, about your health and one more thing will not add that much. So yeah, I've had a will since I was in my 30s because I want to make sure that my kids are taken care of in case my wife or my then wife and me, what if we both died in a car accident, for example. We wanted a line. We wanted to make sure that we knew that the kids were going somewhere that was good. And another thing is that I have to tell you something about inheritance money in general, is that it's all funny money. If you're sitting home right now thinking that you're going to be making bank off someone's and you're going to inherit money, you should see Jesus about that, because that's not take Jesus about that, because that's all funny money. That is all funny money. You cannot depend on that.
And there's this thing called taxes too.
Taxes.
There's taxes, and the most important thing is paying off whatever they have going on, like the funeral.
Who's paying taxes on inheritance that's under $1 million or so?
Well, that's true. Taxes, I think there's a limit.
That answer would be no one.
Taxes.
Well, if you have a house in the Boston area, you more than likely have asset over $1 million.
Yeah,
it's so expensive here in urban areas.
My neighbor's house.
I'm gonna leave my kid like shit worth like $10,000. That's what you get.
I thought they were selling my neighbor's house for $700,000. They sold it for almost $800,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you get 2 of my houses, and you got to pay taxes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's all property
absolutely.
value here too.
And if you're a parent too, you should talk to your kids beforehand about what's expected. It's one of those things that you, just like with everything else that's important, you have to let people know where you stand and what your opinions are about what you expect to happen.
Oh, my father was no joke. He for years we thought he was being morbid, but he said he wanted kilted pipers leading the front of his funeral and and after in the church and everything.
Yeah.
Well, and he said it so many times that we did it for him.
Yeah, I told my kids and my girlfriend that I expect a meat raffle at my funeral. Because you think I'm not joking, because I know there's going to be like maybe 5 people that show up for my funeral, right? So I want a meat raffle to fill the seats, so people have to sit through the entire thing. A meat raffle, right? Who doesn't like a good meat raffle? And the funny thing about it is that I'm a vegetarian, but I'm willing to spread the love there. So yeah, I got to fill seats. There's nothing more depressing than a funeral.
I tell you what, if you do a cheese raffle, you'll get everybody there.
I like how you're thinking. It may go into the plan.
It also depends. It also depends on how old you are. Like when my grandfather died, a lot of his friends were still alive. When my grandma died, she was 99. Only the family showed up. You know, there was really no one she knew anymore because she kind of outlasted everybody.
One of the things that kind of made me mad with what happened to me was, I understand paying the debt off. Like, I get that. But my mom was only in debt like $35,000 or $40,000. That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing. That was a 35-acre farm, and she took a loan out to pay for it. So that's the money she owed. And it was probably around $37,000 or something like that by the time she passed away. So that's nothing. That's a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that is. And you could set up a payment plan and just do like $100 a month forever, and it wouldn't hurt you. And I could have like a beautiful piece of property in 2 valleys with a road running up the middle of it with a huge fucking hay field and all. I could have had all that shit.
Yeah.
My brother lives in a similar situation in Montana like that, but he retired from his 20 years from the Air Force, and he'd been to Iraq like off and on, so he earned it. Total, but he has PTSD, and he moved out to the middle of the woods to be away from people, and I honestly don't blame him.
Sure.
Yeah, no, that's how I grew up. I grew up with. We had a short stint of a couple months. We ended up living in town because of Dad. We'll just put it that way, my dad. So we lost the farm we were leasing, and we lived in town for a couple months, and then Mom bought that farm. And it was so weird to me to live like in town, and it's a tiny town. There can't be like, if you don't count the college students that are there, there's probably only like 3,000 people that live there.
Wow. Yeah.
Like the college is the only reason that town is still alive.
Wow.
Sure. What's a big town?
I think compared to yours, Jenny, but
I think that's how many people went to my high school at the same time.
5,000. We had a 5,000 person high school. It was a mob.
Yeah, exactly.
My graduating class was 82.
82, huh?
82 people. And I'm going to tell you, after I was an adult and I went by there with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and because she wanted to see where I grew up and everything. So, and I wanted to go visit my sister. So anyways, so we drove by the school, and I was like, my God, that's small. I mean, and the funny thing is my senior class was the largest one they had in like 12 or 15 years or something like that.
How about that?
It's usually like 67 or 72. Like there was a
high
spurt of children.
My high school class was the biggest they'd ever had in the state of Wisconsin, and it was 1,100 people in 1972.
Wow. That's a lot for 1972. Hi, Rex.
Heyo.
How are you?
How's everybody doing?
Great.
I'm doing okay.
Good. Good.
Mm.
So what do you think about the topic?
What is the topic?
We were discussing like inheritance and
I
dealing
realize
with family
some
being mad at
screwy
each other over the money or the property or whatever.
Oh, I did inherit. I did inherit this though. This one is the big FU to my brother. This is a real Navy Confederate Colt
Oh, nice.
from the Italian serial numbers and everything.
Have you fired it?
Oh,
No, I actually I have a musket though that's made for reenactments, and I do own black powder, so that's
Yeah,
fun.
I shot a replica of something like an 1860 revolver from the Union, and I was at a gun range. One time I was at a gun range, and the thing just exploded. You put the powder in, you put the ball in, you wax
no,
it.
you put the wad in first, and then you put the ball in. The ball goes in last. Yeah.
What I was surprised at was the explosion. Basically, the thing just lit up.
Oh, they're fun.
Yeah.
My musket it's so much
They're
fun.
fun, especially when they explode.
I love firing my musket because it's dramatic. It's the pageantry of having to get your ramrod out. Good times. Yep.
You keep that ramrod in your pants, Buster.
No, I wave my ramrod around.
Nice.
Otangelo, when you write stuff like that, it could be considered an insult to all the atheists in the room. So if you behave, we will leave you alone. So just behave, all right? You can discuss with people, just no insults, please.
Careful, Otangelo. I got my.
I don't like that shit. I don't insult anybody. I don't want anybody. Nobody in this room goes around insulting people. So let's not do that. Anyways, carry on, guys.
Here?
Well, Otangelo thinks he knows everything. That's his problem.
Now, don't insult him either. That's not fair.
But see, the
Well,
problem
I mean,
is,
I've seen him.
Well, he knows what he knows what he knows. Yeah, sure, he knows about Christianity and stuff, but no, he doesn't know. None of us know everything.
No,
but
none of us know everything.
I've kind of reached.
Know about Christianity. It's a big fantasy.
I've kind of reached a point with apologists.
I don't disagree with you, Jenny.
Like again, someone like Maddie, who I'm doing the podcast with, Sam Chaos and Maddie. She's an amazing person. She's just like us. She's willing to sit down and discuss it. She doesn't go into chats and troll people with apologetics.
And she never got insulted. The whole discussions you guys have, she doesn't get mad. She doesn't get upset. She understands that you're just asking questions. Another thing. She's really, really cool.
She lets me ask really stupid questions about her religion. And so I don't have to come from the standpoint of, do you really believe this? And I'll ask her like, hey, do you really believe this mumbo jumbo? And she tells me the truth. Like, I appreciate that.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, whether I want to or not, even if I believe in it or not, we all have to get along. And I think
it's a fact.
Even though it's a crock, tolerate each other to where we're not punching each other, I prefer to ignore people, but she's just a person.
I forgot to send you my brother's email, Will. That's what I just sent you. So if you want to send that on to Maddie. I told Richard about her and how sensible she is and how she was like, yes, I'm religious, but I'm a theist, but no, this doesn't agree. This doesn't work. Christians can't say that. And he goes, oh, really? Totally interested. It's right up his alley.
I was thinking about it the other day, and I was thinking, I think I would be more comfortable with hanging with progressive, liberal Christians than I would be with conservative atheists.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there we go. I was trying to be controversial there, but I guess not.
Well, I've actually kind of headbutted with some conservative atheists recently, so I agree. Yeah. I'm a speak for yourself, let's all hug it out kind of guy, and the world just isn't like that, It
isn't like that.
Well, and that's why I try to be, my point is if I'm a dick to Otangelo, then I'm representing other atheists. And I can tell you, I know hundreds of atheists in our community, and the ones that are assholes, I don't talk to. So
Yeah, well,
there's a lot of good people. I've met like one asshole.
There are people that I won't have on my show that are on a lot of other people's shows, and I'm like, that's fine. I got beef with this person from like maybe 10 years ago because what they did 10 years ago. I'm not going to get into it, but but there are definitely some atheists that I'm not gonna that I don't want to get involved with personally. Yeah,
same. I totally agree with you. That you literally just described my stance, Andy. That is my stance. Like,
yeah, I just go, oh, you're an asshole. Delete. Unfollow, whatever. I'm not even trying to look at it on a feed or anything. I don't even want to know.
I have this this rule, or at least it's a metric. It's a way of thinking about things. It's like, if I wouldn't trust leaving my young children with this person, if I had, when my kids were younger, right? If I don't trust them with my kids, then that's not a litmus test to come out on my channel, but it does tell me something about my feelings about that person and maybe about the other person's character.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, I don't know what the ticking is. I know last time it was me, but I don't even hear it.
I don't hear it now. I don't hear it.
It comes and goes.
Oh, interesting.
I don't hear it now either.
You guys tell me when you hear it, so maybe I can identify what the hell's doing it, because that would be nice. Anywho,
Angelo's like, how oh, I have to read it dramatic. How can someone be that kind of Christian?
That's how I read it too.
Let me tell you, easily. With grace and ease.
Look, I can't even believe Otangelo said that, because I know he knows my brother. All those guys know my brother. They talk to him all the time.
I think they were talking about. I think he was talking about Maddie. Because I was comparing.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's not like it's the first time he's heard shit like that.
Oh yeah.
It's not like this is like, oh, I've never heard that before.
I think that's the thing I'm running into right now, is that, like, I've heard that argument a million times. So when he pops in chat and comes with the argument at the same time, my eyes are like, oh, this argument again. It's just sad. Come with some new stuff. Come with some quantum physics and, trip me out.
It would be nice. It would be nice if the theists that jumped into my chat would, instead of just saying shit, actually try to, like, back it up.
Yeah, give some kind of
like, you want to discuss something, discuss it. But if you say blah, it's not my job to disprove it. It's your job to prove it.
Well, it's all based on feelings. How that one person in your brother's room was telling me how my flags were basically scaring them, and they were proving my point. No, they were proving my point. One person called me Antichrist. One person, what did they call me? I can't even remember that my religion is nationalism, and atheists, their only religion is nationalism or something, but they're proving my point that, I grew up with a Vietnam veteran pops. My mom's a great person. I grew up as a real life flag shagger. The America I grew up in was people getting along,
Right. Oh, me too. Me too, man. I'm telling you, there was this one time I was going home. We were going home from, like, school or something, or the store. And this guy was broke down the side of the road. There was a guy there helping him. We were like, oh, cool, or maybe we were driving away from home. I think that's what it was. But anyways, so this guy's broke down, and we've seen him before. And the guy that's helping him, we've seen him before. Like, it's a small area. We all either know each other or know of each other, So we're like, oh, they look like they got it, So we go back by later, and there's two other vehicles there. And they got a couple 12 packs of bud, and they're all smoking cigarettes and hanging around, leaning on the truck while one of the guys is working. Like, it turned into a fucking party. That's how I grew up. People just like my mom's friend called and said, "Hey, I got a cow birthing right now, and the calf's breech. Can you please help?" And she used to call my mom because my mom was a RN before she went into teaching, and she knows some shit, and so we went over there and, turned the calf around. Well, she called us and called one other person, and that guy called 2 other people. And by the time we got the calf out, they had showed up, and there was 3 dudes that came, 3, 40-ish year old strong cow, like farmer guys. And the calf stood up and fell over and rolled down the fucking hill. We had to pull him back up because it was a really nasty valley with lots of like rocks and shit. He didn't get hurt, but if they hadn't showed up, we never would have got that fucking calf up. I couldn't have done it by myself. There's just no way. Not a Black Angus calf. You're not doing that shit. So anyways, but that's how it was. Like, there was me and my brother were talking about this the other day. A guy lived up the road from us. His house burnt down. We all got together, and I'm not kidding you, in 16 hours, we had him something to live in. Because that many people showed up.
Yeah.
And we were kids. I was little. I was like 6 or 7. And I was walking around getting people water and lemonade. And, everybody was helping. And like the wives came in later and brought food and fed everybody. And we literally like worked on it one day, and the next day worked on it. And we had like the windows installed, the door was on, roof was up, everything. He didn't have appliances and stuff in it, but
you see,
he had some place to sleep.
But that's what it's about. Like I helped, I completely destroyed a wench helping out my neighbors. And I always like saying my Mormon neighbors because they're just like
a winch.
Oh,
thank you.
Both. She was hanging on the front of the truck and
I started cranking on that winch, baby.
But it completely burnt out. It died. They bought me a new one. We help each other out.
See, that's all you got. If people still did that, oh my God.
But I was helping them pull stumps on their property, and my own equipment died. And I said, hey, you know what? I'll just go buy another. And they were like, no, we got you. And they got me one. But we always help each other out. We still barbecue.
Families.
I live on a cul-de-sac, and so we still barbecue. We have 4th of July parties. I don't go anywhere on the 4th of July because I know that we're going to have a safe party here. I used to say it was home field advantage so I could pass out on my front lawn.
Maya,
so the 4th of July, I would drag my kids for the 4th of July over to the Lexington Concord State Park. And that's where the shot heard around the world was done. And so they would be reenactors reading through the Declaration of Independence. And then there'd be a demonstration of musket fire.
Awesome.
And then we'd go to a Chinese restaurant afterwards because no one ever goes to a Chinese restaurant on the 4th of July.
And it's empty, and you can just walk right in and eat all you want. Buffets are cranking, baby. They're full. Get them crab legs. Oh, that's good. That's good shit, though. I like it when like cities and stuff put on stuff like that. I knew people in Virginia that used to do the Civil War reenactments. Oh, sure. And I mean, I didn't know them. They were like friends of a friend. But we would go watch them and everything, and out in Lynchburg, Virginia. Yeah, so we'd go out there and we'd watch all these guys, and it was just so cool to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, just so you guys know, the North always wins.
We win enough. We win enough. That's what happens.
Every reenactment, we win. Anyways, yeah, there's lots of there's good culture and lots of museums and stuff to see in the Northeast. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Me and my ex used to get in the car and we'd be bored. Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? We don't have any money to go spend. Well, we can afford some gas. So we'd go follow the Civil War Trail through Virginia.
Oh, awesome.
And stop at all the markers and shit.
Yep.
And you could spend, like, if you stop at every marker and check out the museums and anything else you see along the way, to go all the way across Virginia would probably take you like 4 or 5 days.
Oh, wow.
We didn't get very far because we would see cool shit and have to go look at it,
Yeah.
And there's in Virginia, there's mounds of dirt, and it says on it that they're protected because people used to go through there and try to dig them up looking for bullets and stuff from the Civil War, and so they had to protect them. The state had to protect them, and some of them are Indian burial grounds, but I don't know what the other ones are. But the state had to protect them because people wanted to dig into them and shit. And so now it's highly illegal. Like you walk anywhere near one of those with a shovel, they're on you quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. But yeah, lots of good stuff.
Sorry, I have Slayer stuck in my head because I was reading on Tangelo's comment. Now I have God Hates Us All stuck in my head. Oh, since the dawn of time, compelled to live your sheltered life. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't even argue with these people anymore because they just won't get it. They, maybe, just maybe,
being understood from what is
when you're praying, you're in a room talking to yourself.
That's a weird thought. Whoever thought of that? Huh. It's funny because anytime in any other way, outside of religion or theism, if you will, people that sit there and like kneel down and talk to nobody, they get put in little like happy suits.
Yeah, tons of mice. You're just shifting gears a little bit. Tons of mice. So your great grandfather fought in Vicksburg. That was a very long siege. And it was
Vicksburg was vicious.
Nasty. Yeah,
that's why it starts. That's where we got vicious from. Vicksburg.
A lot of drinking.
No, it was. That was. I was an accident.
I named my son after somebody who died at Honey Hill and was a Confederate that's in my bloodline. I had 27 family members that fought for the Confederacy and 2 so far that fought for the North that I know of so far.
Everybody that I'm related to fought for the North. And there's been someone in the military on either side of my family, mom and dad's side, all the way back since there's been military. Like I couldn't find the end of it when I looked. So
I think it is a bad time, dude.
Okay, no worries, man. No worries.
No, it's okay, man.
You enjoy it.
Yeah, the males in my family all fought in every war. And they fought in the Civil War and they fought for the North, and which is really weird because my dad's, relatives fought in the Civil War, but he was such a fucking racist. I'm like, I don't even, did you guys just do it because you live up here and you thought you had to?
It's where you're from.
Or maybe they were better people back then. I don't know.
It's where you're from. Because in my family, those were African Americans, they were half black. They put on the grays and fought because that's where they were from. They quite literally did not know anything else. They hadn't left their farm. I know too much about my family history. Like these people hadn't even left the property before, and would put a rifle in their hand. We're told to march north.
Right. That's interesting. Bodyguard for George Washington.
I have family that's from Savannah, Georgia, and they still live there to this very day. Actually, one half still lives on the same plot of land.
One of my relatives kicked George Washington's ass.
Who's the relative?
George Washington was I don't know his official rank. He was way up there with a general by the name of General Braddock of the British forces.
Okay.
And in the French and Indian War, and by the way, that doesn't mean that the French and the Indians were fighting. They were together against the British.
Yeah.
For you Americans who never paid attention. And the French
let me get some more coffee.
Were not necessarily the French army or anything, but they were people from Canada who happened to be French and were mostly fur trappers and shit. Got together with the Indians to fight the British. And there's this little event called Braddock's Defeat. And one of my relatives, Charles de Langlade, was kind of one of the people who was leading the Indians against the British at that battle and killed General Braddock. And George Washington has run his ass out of there, so he didn't get killed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ox, all I have to say about that is I am not shocked considering we stole all the land from your people. All the land we have.
What's tons of mice probably knows this.
Although I will say that my mom's side of the family was not here then, so I'm only half an asshole.
Well, to me, you will always be a complete asshole be.
Aw, thanks, Andy.
Sweet.
God, that's
I'll let
so
you know.
sweet. I have the bestest Estes friends ever. Yeah, no, I don't know any. The only thing I know about military history in my family was my grandfather was in the Navy. He fought during Nam, and I want to say World War II and Nam, but that might be pushing it a little bit.
Be Korea.
Hold on.
And
I'm trying to think. No, it was World War II. I'm sorry, it was World War II. Yeah, because he met my grandmother during World War II, and my mom was born in 1942, so it was World War II. Anyway, so he was a gunner on a boat, on a battleship, and he had the gun.
Right.
And anybody that's watched a war movie knows exactly what I mean right now.
It is an anti-aircraft gun, I believe.
It was an anti-aircraft gun. The bullets were quite large, and they were very loud, and the hearing protection was horrible. And when he was old, you'd have to go, "Grandpa!" He'd be like, "What? Did you say something to me?" Like, that man couldn't hear shit. You literally had to yell to get for him to hear you well.
I'm looking forward to having a large horn when I get older.
Don't we all want the horn? Don't we all, though?
Horn, just like that.
Yes.
So my dad was
a spittoon.
He was an engineer back when they had diesel engines in the Navy, and he was deaf. He was deaf, and when he got hearing aids, we were talking, and I mean, he was probably 65 when he got hearing aids, and he looks at he's probably 70, and he looks at me and he's like, "Have you always been this loud?" I said, you're just effing deaf. You've been effing deaf all these years. He ignored us for 30 something years. He would just shake his head and be like, I'm ignoring you face to face.
Right. Well, that's what I tell people. I've had like people say to me, well, is there anything they can do about your hearing? Because my hearing's it's not horrible, but I'm really on that borderline of, if it gets this much worse, I'm gonna have to get hearing aids. Like, I'm right there. So, and I've had women say, why don't you go do something about it? And I'm like, maybe I don't want to hear anybody when I'm old.
Yeah, for real.
I'm just going to let it go, man. I'll just turn music up loud so I can hear that. Fuck everything else.
And the hearing aids they're sleek even by today's standards. So in the future, 10 years from now, they'll be even better, you know?
Yeah. Right now they're just a little thing you stick in your ear.
Oh my, yeah, but like
a little tiny thing with a little tiny antenna sticking off of it that you pull it out with.
But they're worth like $1,500 each. Though.
Oh no, you went way too low.
Those things are out of control.
They're like $2,500 fucking dollars.
That's what I'm saying. Those things are unreal.
And then Rex left because we haven't let him talk in 15 minutes. Sorry, Rex. No, I don't know why he left. I'm just kidding.
He always catches me when I go to the dispensary. I get extra talky on dispensary day.
Hey, why don't you bring one of the trolls in? We can torture them.
Oh, I don't have the patience.
Do you want me to bring in Otangelo? Because he asked to come in.
No, I don't have the I honestly, if you guys want to, okay. But I just do not have the patience for these guys. I do not, because I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it because it's rude. I'm not going to say it. I don't consider it the most stable to have one stance and then be stuck to it your entire life. I don't consider that to be the most stable.
And I agree with you.
No,
you know,
people think
there's
one of all mental health. There's nothing mentally healthy about being religious.
I'm trying to be nice.
You know, people think that atheists are just like this cardboard one layer deal. But, you know, honestly, I was more of an asshole about religion years ago than I am now. Because now I've come to the point
of atheists because we have a life.
Well, I've come to the point of realizing that these people just need a crutch, and I kind of feel bad for them, honestly.
Absolutely.
So if that's, I mean, I'm not picking on them. If that's what you need to get through your life, it's like what Ox said. If that's what you need to get through your life, and that's what does it for you, then I'm not against it. It's not like I hate people that are Christians. I hate people that preach to people and are assholes and don't listen. And that's what makes me mad. I don't care if you want to be religious, go be religious if that's what makes you happy. But you know, it's like a penis. I'm glad you have one, but not everybody wants to see it. Not everybody wants to see your religion all the time either. That's all.
Tangelo, the one thing I will give on Tangelo is that he sticks to his script. One of the reasons I'm done with all these guys is because I heard Darth Dawkins say some derogatory things that were so off script. I was like, has nothing to do with your religion. You just hate people. You literally just hate people. So I'm just done with these guys. They're TERFs. They hate people that are in the alphabet mafia. You know,
you can't even put Darth Dawkins in with these guys like Otangelo.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, but that's
Darth
what I'm
Dawkins
saying.
is the biggest fucking dick. Like Otangelo is a sweetheart compared to him.
Exactly.
And actually, I've watched conversations that Otangelo's had with like my brother and stuff, and he's not a bad guy. It's not that, and I know that he really thinks he's helping people.
I have no
and that's the only reason I don't kick him out. I just tell him to chill, and you can talk about it. Don't be a dick. That's my rule.
No,
But,
I agree.
I get it. I've known a lot of people. My sister is devout Christian, like she's Baptist or Methodist or something, and she has been for God, I don't know, since she left the house at 18. She's always been going to some kind of church. And she's a great person, and I love her to death, despite her flaws. But I love her to death. And, I don't hold it against her. I don't know why she wastes her time with it, but I don't look at her differently for it. I don't look at anybody differently for their opinions, unless they're like child rapists or something.
I think I agree with you. As long as you're not, I have, you know what it is? I have standards and limits. And if you exceed certain limits, I'm like, I'm done with you. I'm not even going to deal with you, especially on the internet, because you can just turn off your computer and be like, oh, you don't exist, or block them and be like, you really don't exist. That's the one thing about arguing online where I'm just like, after I've just kind of reached that point where I'm like, I just don't see a point to it anymore.
I don't know about
Cadence.
the morality of it, but
go ahead, Jen.
I'm sure many people would disagree with me on this. I wish there was some way for our government to tell religious people, and again, I don't care what religion it is, that you are not allowed to raise your children in that religion. You must let them get to at least 16 years old before you even mention religion to them, because anything less is indoctrination.
I agree with you to a certain extent. I'm super anti-government, but we could always figure out the devil's in the details. But I was raised hardcore Catholic, and I was so scared of hell that sometimes I look back and laugh at myself. Like I honestly look back and laugh at myself.
Oh yeah, exactly. I was raised Lutheran, and I had the same fears.
It kept me in line for a while.
I was absolutely convinced that God saw every little thing I did.
Me
and
too.
was writing it down and balancing the book.
See, I didn't even worry about it. I just thought it was so ludicrous. I didn't know what the fuck. I literally would just sit in church and I would just go through the motions and think about 50 other things that had nothing to do with church. That's what I did every single Sunday. And I used to fidget and shake my leg, and I was all like over here somewhere. And then people would start standing up, and I'd stand up, and then I'd kneel like I didn't know what was going on. I didn't pay attention for half of it.
My parents would sit on either side of all the kids, and we had to read the epistle and the missal as the mass was going on. So we literally, in our CCD classes, they would take us into the church, and they would teach us how to ignore babies crying, people talking, and pay attention to the sermon. That is, I wouldn't call it mind control or brainwashing, but they they were saying no matter what, you pay attention to what that person on the pulpit is saying.
Wow.
Right.
Yep.
That's why I know the New Testament through and through, because that's what Catholics read,
Real quick, let me just say, I'm not bringing
Otangelo
in. I was kidding. Don't anybody leave. Cadence, don't leave.
No.
Like if it's between you and him, who's going to get booted out of here. So
I have no patience.
Hang out. I'm not putting him in here.
But
I don't feel like it.
I rarely say this because I've moved on with my life, but being raised hardcore Roman Catholic really fucked up my life. It took me years to deprogram, and still to this day, I moved back to my hometown. the church I grew up in is in the center of town. It's hard to not do the sign of the cross when I drive past it because I was so indoctrinated, and it's in the center of town. So no matter where you go, you have to drive past it if you're going going north.
I'm glad I had ADD growing up because I'm glad I didn't pay attention.
Oh,
All the
scare the
shit
hell
I
out of
hear
me.
people say. I mean, I'm not gonna say I didn't hear anything. I did hear shit, you know, and I knew stuff. We had to go to Sunday school and blah 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 before church or whatever. Like we did all that, so I learned stuff. I just thought it was all just weird. Really,
I can remember.
Doesn't make any sense. What is this? You
can
want me to
I
kiss
can
the feet
remember-
of this statue of a dead guy on a cross? Why am I doing this? Go ahead, Jenny. Sorry.
I can remember thinking that my church was phony, was not up to the task of being a church and with God and all this stuff because we didn't have steeples like the Catholic churches did, and big stairways and statues and all this shit. That we were just this Lutheran church that was in a box of a building and had a cross on the side, and so it wasn't as good as the Catholic churches because they had all the fancy stuff like that. You know,
that's because the Catholic Church is fucking
for
rich.
a kid to grow up, you know, we certainly weren't taught that, but to end up having that as part of your self-identity, that what you are religiously is not adequate to the other religions, even though it's all Christian. You know, it's no, religion and children just should not ever mix, ever.
Yeah, you know, I really don't think there's any such thing as parental rights when you think about it, and hear me out on this. And I might have rambled about this before on this channel. Is that, you know, we as parents are just stewards.
I always say we're facilitators.
We're facilitators. We're stewards, like the stewards of Gondor, right? We're just there until they get old enough to be able to manage their own rights, to become adults. So because when you talk about parents' rights, you start thinking about kids as property, and that's wrong.
That is 100% my stance. I live.
Dude, we have to figure out something that we disagree with. What are you watching in the background? What are you watching in the background?
Wait a minute, I got it. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
Andy don't suck dick.
No, that's not true. Andy has sucked dick. And in fact,
shit, what the fuck? I got nothing then. That's the only thing I
was
thought
in
I
a
had.
year-and-a-half relationship with a lovely guy. He was an artist, and so I'm sorry. I just,
I'm watching Flash Gordon.
Well, the things you learn. Okay,
Flash
never
Gordon,
mind.
Buster
I
Crabbe.
digress.
With
And I
Buster-
shall kick myself out of the street.
I see that now. That's great. Fantastic.
Yeah, it makes me laugh because the Martians were Vikings, of course.
Right.
Because
right.
yeah, that's what you would
So
find.
that's the old school cereal too, right? Like from the 40s or something like that.
This is the original. This
The
is
original,
it.
right? Very cool. Very cool.
Ox, I didn't judge a book. He's with a woman, and I didn't have enough information about him. That's all. Apparently, Andy and I need to spend more quality time together. That's the lesson here.
I had the fortunate happenstance. My pops was 43 years older than me, so I have a much older influence of the things that they watched when I was a kid. Like I love black and white movies because my parents would watch black and white movies, and so I could sit there all day and watch black and whites.
Oh yeah, I think it's a beautiful. I think it's a beautiful type of art, black and white movies. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
See, we just agree on
they
too many
had.
things. We just agree on too many things.
No, but I love the old movies because when you look at the set, somebody built that by hand.
Yeah.
When you see people walking in the studio, every little detail someone thought of. It's not just CGI with someone in a computer.
I always thought that radio was amazing because they would find crazy ways to recreate sounds.
Yeah.
And it was so realistic. I remember being a kid and listening to the Twilight
Foley artists
Zone.
are still doing it that way. They are absolute geniuses in how they create the sounds that they do. For example, the what do you call that thing? The lightsaber, and that kind of noise that it makes. You know what that is?
No.
They went up to a high tension support wire for a radio antenna. and they held the microphone near it and hit it with a hammer, and then moved the microphone around a little bit so that you get the variance in pitch and tone.
That is so cool.
Effect. And then just modify it electronically beyond that, but that's the bass sound, is hitting a cable supporting a radio tower with a hammer.
Nice. Nice. I also heard somebody doing something like that, and they were like making a piano out of it because you could get different tones or something, and it was some kind of a support wire or something, but I don't know.
Cadence is I love pirate movies, and I'm in this really weird, like late 80s, early 90s anime phase, and I'm watching those really bad kung fu movies right now. Really bad.
I just finished watching Cowboy Bebop.
I
for the
love
first
Cowboy
time.
Bebop.
If you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, it is something that needs to be seen. It is such a great series. It's one season, and it's beautiful.
Cowboy what?
Cowboy Bebop.
So, Harmon, I am actually subscribed to a channel on YouTube that plays those live, I think, like every 10 hours. They play the old radio shows. It's awesome. I'm trying to see what it's called. I love
Bebop for the win. I've never heard of it, honestly.
It's a great anime series.
Amazing.
Oh, that's why I don't like anime.
And the soundtrack.
Well, in general, I haven't checked out all of them.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What's it
when I was a kid, there were still radio.
Oh no, I'm looking up that. Sorry.
Radio.
I get caught up in these like murder mysteries, and like I'm sitting here sewing, and I'm like, I've been listening to this channel on YouTube for 4 hours.
That's great.
Because they keep going and going. You know, I've walked out of the room 5 times and come back. I love those old radio shows. But I grew up, like, again, because I had older influences, I love talk radio. That's why YouTube is awesome. I'm just sitting here talking. Like, I love talk radio.
No, Cadence, I did not know that. That is hilarious. He was such like the perfect cowboy. I can't picture him as a pirate.
I have not seen that Tons of Mice. I've heard about it, but I have not seen the Bebop movie.
William, what you should really honestly do is go wherever you got to go to get it and download the WPR, Wisconsin Public Radio app, and listen to Wisconsin Public Radio. It is one of the best talk radio networks you will ever find anywhere in the country.
Awesome.
It's just hands down. All the you listen to it and you hear all the time guests who come on it and are talking and will expound that the audience and the questions that the audience asks them in Wisconsin Public Radio is so far beyond any other radio shows and stuff that they listen to. They just can't believe the level of sophistication of the listeners and things like that.
That's awesome.
Definitely, if you're into talk radio, definitely go for it.
Jenny, that message is for you if you want to read it.
I can't read it.
Oh, it's from Ilya.
Oh,
love you, Jenny, so much.
Ilya, hi. I haven't seen you forever.
Yeah, I saw her on my messenger, and I was like, "Damn, where has she been? Is she still?" And then I thought about it, realized how long it had been, and so I messaged her. She said she's doing okay, just dealing with shit. So
good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I hate it when people in the community just kind of vaporize and disappear.
I know, because then I'll randomly think about them and go,
really kind of
I wonder where they are.
Purple and I talk about this all the time.
I worry about them.
Yeah, because you see someone all the time, then they literally vanish.
Yeah, and you're like, what? Like people that go on Twitter and say, "Hey, I'm out of here." I totally respect that, and I appreciate the fact that they let us know. You know, just tell us what's up so we don't worry about you. You know.
Okay, but sometimes people are like James Brown, where they say they're leaving, but they come back for like 9 encores with their cape.
Yeah, this is true.
I'm showing my age, but like there are some James Browns out there. Like, I'm having a bad time. I hate you all. They're back a week later.
Yeah.
Literally with puppy dogs on their Twitter. Literally with puppy dogs and smiles, you know.
She said, I just needed time away. I'm sorry. No, you're fine,
No,
honey.
that's
We're just
good.
glad you're okay. That's all.
Oh, are you kidding me? I
If
take
I
breaks
suddenly
all the time.
disappear and it's been a couple of days and people are wondering, just start calling the hospitals in La Crosse, Wisconsin. You'll track me down that way.
So she said losing Bull just killed me. So
Understandable.
yeah, it's never good shit, man. That is the name of my life, Maya. Dealing with shit. Vanta said she's going with I'm dealing with idiots instead of dealing with shit. Mice will know if something ever happens to you. We'll know within the first 4 hours because you're everywhere.
There was a blogger that I was working that was on the non-religious channel over at Pathos, and she died. Her moniker was her name was Miracle Girl. She had a variety of illnesses, and when she died, our channel, the guy who runs the channel, Dale McGowan, he wrote a very nice piece for her on her blog as a farewell piece. So hopefully, if I die suddenly, then someone's going to write some crappy joke on my blog, and will alert people to know that I'm gone. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
You know, Maya, I did the exact same thing. I in the beginning of the pandemic, with all the riots and everything that were going on last year, I didn't watch anyone on YouTube, and I stayed off of Twitter for almost 4 or 5 months.
What?
Yeah, because I stopped watching the news because it became overwhelming, and people. Yeah. You know, people fight wars on Twitter, knowing in real life we don't treat each other like that.
Yeah.
You know, they say horrible things to each other. And I'm like, dude, our country is burning and you guys are like dancing in the fire, you know, and fighting over it. I was over it. I was over it. And plus people, like I said, on my stream last night, when people start speaking for you, it's frustrating. You know, and people were like speaking for me, and I'm like, no, you don't speak for me, you know. And I'd say something crazy in the chat. I made enemies, and it was just because I was angry, you know. So I took a big step back.
I had to apologize for that twice, Andy. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't me. I said I had to apologize twice for that, and I said, no, I'm kidding. It wasn't me. I don't know who it was. So today I got together with my immediate supervisor and the main boss, and we sat down and had a little discussion and talked everything out. And my boss said, the big boss said, you know, I appreciate the way you guys handled that. And, you know, there was, you know, everybody was respectful and everything. And I said, do you know how many times in my life that someone's pissed me off or I've pissed someone off? I've done this before. And he started laughing. So I've done this many, many times before. And he said, you do it quite well. And I said, thank you. Oh. Yes, mansplaining. Right. Let me speak for you and say it incorrectly. Mansplaining.
Oh, just me.
God, I hate mansplaining.
God, it's irritating, isn't it?
Well, in the trans community, we also have cis-splaining, where where cis people think that they have to just explain what transgender is all about to transgender people.
Right. Or or a white person like
why do you think I got real quiet?
Explain racism from a point of view that they don't have.
Why do you think I got real quiet when everyone started talking? I was like, It's quite literally what's been happening lately. But I keep saying it, and maybe it'll finally stick. Stargate SG-1 is on Netflix, so I have been ignoring everybody.
No.
I've love it, Cadence. Love it. That's me. I don't pull punches at work, and it gets me in trouble because I'm honest and I don't do the office politics bullshit. I just don't.
That's my problem, though.
I straight up told my boss today what he's been doing this driving me nuts. I just told him, and he was just like,
No, I'm the same way, Cadence, but my
Sorry,
problem is
you guys are kind of boring.
I'll perceive.
Fuck off, Jenny.
You know, I've ran into this lately. Like somebody will say some awful things. They'll get tough with their teeth out on YouTube. They'll say all these evil racist things, and then you call them out and they call you a bully.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, that happens.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. You're the bully.
I don't get that. Like I call that cry bully when somebody is trying to pick a fight with everybody. Then they get the fight and they're like, "I'm a victim.
Right.
I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
I can't deal.
That sick Congresswoman, that Marjorie Taylor Greene, she does that all the time.
Sure,
Oh,
she
see,
does.
She's so.
Well, it's the evangelical
Victim.
persecution complex that they have.
It's her first move.
Absolutely. See,
Yes, Santa.
I stay away from her, Jenny, because she's bad for my blood pressure.
Well,
Oh,
she
yeah.
just comes up on clips.
Today, Isaiah was watching a video. My son was watching a video about somebody was, explaining to a 12-year-old why she's an idiot. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit down for this one,
Right.
And they were showing her CrossFit, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get up and walk out of the room because this person she's an idiot. And we allow these people to have say in our government. That's scary to me.
Right.
She has say. She's on committees. Like regardless of what we think, she's doing things. She's working there. It's scary that she has any power at all.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to run, everyone. Sorry.
Oh, thanks for coming. I appreciate you.
This is always enjoyable for me to step in and say hello to everyone and to share many things we have in common. Godless soul.
It's
Absolutely.
always nice to see your beautiful face.
We really do. We really do. Because I dated that. I always gatekeep because I say I'm bi, and I'm always like, I always throw out that I dated a man for a year and a half. in my just at the gates with my hands on my hips. Just
Oh, yeah?
gatekeeping. Are you? You're what? Which doesn't mean
I apologize.
Disclaimer. I'm not the holder. I don't have the crown of bi. So I'm not king bi. I'm just judgmental.
Excellent.
Thanks a lot, Andy. I appreciate you.
All right, take care, everyone.
Have a great
Goodbye.
night.
Bye, Andy.
Bye. Too funny. Oh, yeah. Andy's great. I like talking to him.
I have Hootie and the Blowfish stuck in my head because I was rocking out on the way back from the dispensary.
Dude, I like Hootie better doing country. He's awesome, dude. He has really good songs. Really, really good songs in country.
So I have Sirius. Is that what it's called? Sirius Satellite?
Yeah, Sirius Radio.
So they're so down on their luck. It's free with my car. I've had it for a while now, and my car is not that new.
Oh, they're only supposed to give it to you for free for like 3 months or something like that. Shh, don't say anything else.
My car's it's a 2018. So
you'll get your car tomorrow and be like, it's gone. Fucking Google.
I rarely listen to it. It's basically me and the old school rap station from here to the dispensary, Dude,
that used to be like the truck driver's wet dream. Is if somebody had XM or Sirius Radio.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was like, you have what? And I remember when I first started, everybody started getting it, and only like the truck drivers that had money, owner operators and shit had it. And we were all like drooling on it and shit because you could listen to anything on that.
Oh, I get lost.
But then I got started on audiobooks, and I was like, I do not have that kind of money to spend to pay that yearly fee.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I can't do it. I'm a brand new truck driver. So I just started listening to Pandora. What was the other one that used to be around? Pandora and
I'm so behind
the old one.
I'm so behind the curve. It's not even funny. I still listen to Sirius. What do I know?
Anyway, I don't know. There's another music streaming thing out there somewhere that I quit using. Pandora's better.
I completely missed out on cable. I have never had a cable subscription. Ever.
It's so expensive and it's not worth it.
Yeah, I could never afford it. And now
you know what I have at my house?
But so I don't listen to that either.
Yeah. what I got because I didn't have internet for that month and a half or whatever it was. And so I used to like sit in my truck and drink coffee and listen to everybody on YouTube. Like that's what I did. Anyway, so I went out, I spent $30 at Home Depot or whatever it was and got an antenna, and I plugged it directly to my TV. And so I have an antenna. It's actually like sitting in my bathroom right now, but I can stick that outside and I get like 12 or 15 channels. I don't pay a dime.
Yep, that's what I got too.
Yeah.
So Google
It's
Eats.
called television.
Oh, it's called what?
Oh, you're a
television.
mind.
Regular
It's his new
TV? That's
So
so
Google-
weird, Jenny.
So Google
Yeah,
Eats.
stuff
Thank
comes-
you.
It's magical. It's invisible and it's in the air. All these people and places and stuff there. It's in the air and it comes to your TV and you get to see it.
Jenny, Google Eats says, Mr. Sewing, you've been receiving Sirius Radio for 3 years without charge. Your bill has shipped.
Bring it on.
I don't know.
Bring it
I don't know
on.
how- I don't know how it happened, but I have an Audible subscription going that I never remembered setting up, that hasn't cost me a penny. And every so often, like every month, it really seems, I get enough credits to buy 3 or 4 books.
I wonder if somebody
And so
set it
I've
up
been
for you and
I've been
just didn't tell
absolutely
you.
overloaded with books to listen to.
I wonder if somebody set it up and didn't tell you.
So Cadence, you are so right.
And then
So-
I found out now you can trade your books in. If you finish the title, you can trade it in and get another credit for another book.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
That's great.
I've read, listened to the stuff that I never would have taken the time to do before, just because it was free now.
That's like my my cable. Hold on one second.
Maya said, watch it be connected to a credit card that he just pays without checking the bill, Will.
I hope not. I'm trying to reduce.
He's paying
I'm
$15 a month for that shit and has no idea. That it's like Planet Fitness, you know?
No,
You
I
go and
do.
get the membership, but you don't really, it's only $10 a month. I don't feel like canceling it and you just keep paying for it.
So
I hate subscription services.
first off, Cadence is
Me too.
100% right because I have a giant bundle and I have cable. I have every channel known to man. I have the hockey channel. And honestly, I'm watching the hockey channel right now because it's my thing. But I watch one channel and my son watches 2 channels. He watches MTV and like True TV, whichever one has World's Dumbest and Impractical Jokers on it. So I'm paying for this giant bundle so that we can watch 3 channels. Like that's real. And my CBS, which is now Paramount Plus, because I'm a sucker and I love Star Trek and I pay for Star Trek. I didn't know that they were charging me per device. So when you initiate your account, it's on whatever device you initiated it on. So you can only do it. So you can only do it on your phone. So I put it on my computer and they started charging me extra for my computer. I put it in the house. I didn't know. They were charging me 3 times for the same service. I lost it. I called him and the guy was like, I'm sorry. I was like spitting on my phone. I was so mad.
And then you watched it when you were done. And then shit got fixed, right?
I was big mad. That day I was big mad because they were ripping me off. They were flat out ripping me off and laughing at me for it. That's how these big corporations just laugh at us. You got to pay attention to your bills,
Yeah.
Because I didn't
That's
know
how
that.
Planet Fitness gets people. Exactly the same thing. They know that person's, it's only $10 a month, but there's probably millions of people in the United States who have a Planet Fitness membership and never walk through the doors. I had a membership in Ohio, and then I moved out here and I paid for it for like 3 months. And I was like, first of all, I can't afford this right now. And second of all, what the fuck am I doing? I'm not even going to the gym. So I paid $30 out to Planet Fitness that I really didn't need to be spending. I did it.
I agree. I like
It was too much of a pain in the ass to cancel it.
My thing was I would smoke a J in my car and go sit in the sauna. That's the only thing I miss. That's
You
the
know what I
only
missed?
thing I miss
Was
about the
that
gym.
that fucking massage, the water massage bed.
Oh yeah. And
Dude, is the best. I would just set it like just on my neck and upper back where I have my issues at, and I would just put it on like high, hot water, really high, and lay there and just let it beat the shit out of my neck. Oh, it felt so good. It's amazing.
I that's the only thing I miss. And they had these private steam rooms in the gym by my house. I would walk out of there just absolute jelly. And it had its own shower. They were amazing. But I'll never go in there again.
Yes, Randy says no, don't use auto pay. It's true. Don't do it if you can avoid it.
Look what Maya said.
And Maya said auto pay is for rich people. And you know the only thing I've ever had on I have my car insurance, my truck insurance on auto pay, and I used to have my Planet Fitness on auto pay because places like that, they require it.
Yeah, exactly.
They take your debit card number and they just take it out every month.
I have a couple of things that are on auto pay.
My car insurance is that way too.
I'm a bit of a space cadet sometimes, so there's a couple of things that I make sure that are paid every month on purpose.
And yes, Ox, I know of there's nomadic people around here that do that as well. They'll have like a $10 a month, the cheapest membership you can get at Planet Fitness, and they just go in there and like shower and stuff. I've heard of people doing that. Yeah.
Oh, it was glorious. It was the
I do need to go back to the gym though, like real talk. Real talk.
If you're ever feeling down, just remember Godless Sewing has gained 40 pounds. I've gained 40 pounds since last year.
Oh wow. I'm not up that high, but I've gained like 18, and I was 15 to 18. I was already chubby. I'm not happy about it.
I've always been skinny, so I I'm finally at my grown man weight.
Yes, Sandy, we do want to see. You should come on and show us. I'll put you on big screen. Here, let me give you a link. She just put the last piece in her stained glass.
Hey, I love
so
you.
I totally want to see that.
Oh yeah, I want to see her stained glass. Oh yeah. That day I jumped out that and she's okay, that was amazing.
So Jenny, Kaden said, everyone who lost weight over the pandemic, don't worry. I found the weight you lost and I'm keeping it safe. Maya, more do-it-yourself porn? Yes.
Hey, Sandy.
Sandy, how are you?
Hey, Sandy.
Hey, give me a second. I got to turn these down.
Yeah, I have a rule, though, because I've been gaining weight as long as my stomach isn't bigger than my chest, I'm okay. So I do a lot of push-ups.
Right.
I'm going to move the camera, too, so don't get seasick.
Okay.
Oh, look, he has a toy.
Wow. What's the total length on that, Sandy?
65 inches.
So almost 5.5 feet.
All right. Yeah, okay, that's good.
Oh, no, it is 5.5 feet.
I just did
done.
I just did the final. Well, I hope it was final. I might be eating my words.
That is amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
And we're all here to see the final tap.
And I guess I'll go ahead and cut the final 2 pieces of cane. Ta-da!
That's amazing. That is beautiful.
Let me detach you off that thing up there and see if I can't get you a decent picture of it.
Okay, thanks.
I have not felt like coming down here and doing squat here lately.
So you got a lovely piece. She's so talented. That is cool. That's nice. Looks great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Damn it, just admit
There's
you're
a
good
cute
at it.
dog for you.
Aw, the puppy.
Aw.
Hi, Lucky.
Aw.
I'm not going to stay long because I think I just earned a bath.
Right. long
For
hot
those
one.
for
with
those that haven't
bubbles.
seen it, it starts as a tree up here,
Whoa.
And then blue, and then black, and then green, and then some
well,
tie-dye cool shit.
there's the blue pond, there's green glue chip. This is some pretty funky looking glass up in here.
Yeah, it is
Oh
cool.
wow.
And then
Oh, wow.
and then you see now we get to Masma. I hope it's showing up. The red.
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
no, it's nice and bright.
Oh
And it
yeah.
like
Okay.
fades into that purplish bluish. Yeah, that's great.
There's some real intense reds down here.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you get it
And
all
just
started
so-
up, I have one suggestion.
What's that?
Don't drop it. Just don't.
Theo said he loves the Celtic heart most.
The Celtic heart knot. Yep.
Yeah, damn, what was I gonna say? And Jenny said that made me laugh. I forgot.
Oh no.
Can't remember. Oh, how long do you think how long do you think it'll take to solder all that?
Too damn long.
So everybody
I-
look forward
I
to
love
Sandy
this-
doing some live streams of talking while she's soldering.
I love this new headset because see all I gotta do to mute is this.
Oh, that's cool. What brand is that?
A more expensive one of the one I had before.
What brand was that?
name?
I don't know. I'm embarrassed about how much money I spent on it.
Oh, well.
I can't remember the name of it.
You
Hold on a
lie.
minute. Jabra,
Oh,
Jabra, Jabra.
Jabra. Yeah, Jabra makes
Really?
good stuff. They make good
You need to go out, Lucky.
earpiece kind of deals, earbuds, all that.
They,
Yeah,
they
make good
started
stuff.
out doing just hands-off things for phones, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of Jabra headsets out there that they really aimed it at truck drivers at first. That was one of the big aims they had because they had good noise cancellation on it.
Well, Minnesota
well,
just passed the hands-off phone law for driving. You can't touch it. It's a $500 fine or some crap. So everybody's got to get a hands-off unit for their phones now.
Yep, it's true.
And it's been against the law here for over a decade, and people still drive around with the freaking phones in their hands.
I was about to say, people drive around with
Everywhere
cell
I live.
phones. It's illegal as hell here, and like
It's illegal everywhere. I'm
It
telling
is.
you, I've lived in nine or 10 states now, or so nine states, I think. And every state I've lived in, it's been illegal since what was that? Fuck.
You're in North
2010,
Carolina, right?
2008.
Sandy, you're in North Carolina?
I am.
Okay.
And here, you want to hear a funny story? Because texting while driving was made illegal while I was on my long-term state vacation.
Right.
So, in the state of North Carolina and its infinite wisdom decided that I had to be at the unit closest to my house when I was let go from my nice long state vacation, just because
Mm-hmm.
they weren't going to allow the same person who'd been driving me back and forth to work for 2 years just drive me home. No, can't do that. So I had to come up here. I had to go through Raleigh, spend days in Raleigh. Then I had to go up to Black Mountain, and then so they don't have everything ready when I'm ready to go. So I'm out in the car. This PO who picked me up, she had a court date or something she was late for. They'd forgotten to give me my discharge check, so I had to go running all the way back in to get that, then all the way back out. And that woman texted the entire time I was in the car on the way home. And I asked her at one point, I said, "Isn't that illegal?" She says, "Yeah, but I do it well."
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Somebody helping enforce the law and they're breaking it. That's wonderful.
Well, as a matter of fact, she learned real fast that she didn't have a problem with me. She had the same sign in her office that I used to have in mine, and it had something to do with "Never mind the dog, beware the owner."
Yeah.
Mine says around here we don't call 911, which is true. It's true. We don't call 911.
No,
Nope.
Everybody's armed. You don't know reason to call 911. You can take care of it faster.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.
Awesome.
I'm okay.
Good job.
I'm
Sandy.
okay. I'm okay with it. All right.
Oh, bye, Cadence. Thank you for coming.
You can
Tell
take me off.
GE we said hi.
You're welcome to take me off the big screen. Thank you.
Okay.
And hello, everybody in the chat. I tried to have a chat earlier, but it kind of got taken over.
What do you mean? Who took it over?
It doesn't matter. I kept working.
Vanta, I think that would depend on who needs the ambulance.
Oh.
It depends. Okay, I'm going to tell you the sad truth. The average person I know is like, don't call the ambulance because they can't afford the ride. I've known people that drive themselves to the hospital, body parts hanging off, people have been stabbed. They drive themselves to the hospital because they can't afford the ambulance or the money. Because they
Dude, when
know.
I shattered, I did that. I've done that. When I shattered my teeth, I shattered 9 teeth in my face and broke my jaw. And when I did that, everybody was drunk, and I had just got home from work when it happened. I was home like 20 minutes. I had enough time to change clothes, take a piss, came out of the bathroom, fell. Well, I passed out. I had a hypoglycemic attack. But anyways, so I chin dove onto a hardwood floor, and it busted my face. And I told my roommate, who had a driver's license, and my ex didn't at the time because he had a DUI before I met him. I told him, I said, go to bed and sober up, and you're driving me to the hospital in the morning. Because it wasn't near us. We had to go to Virginia Beach. And they were like, we'll call an ambulance. I was like, don't you fucking dare. And back then, I'm not spending $350 on the ambulance. More than that now. But that's what it was back then in our area. I was like, I'm not spending like $350 on an ambulance. No.
It's $900 a mile here.
And then by the time I went in, it had started healing because I had a big hole in my chin. I took the skin off my chin and my chin bone was kind of sticking out. Well, not kind of, it was sticking out. So I had a rag on. I kept putting gauze on it to soak up the blood for the 5.5 hours while he slept. And so I got there and had started healing around the edge. So the doctor's like, I got to cut all this off and stitch even more. So my chin used to be bigger, and I hated my chin. And it's smaller now, and I fucking love it. I got $100 at the emergency room. Free chin. $100, baby. Won't find that at a plastic surgeon.
A free chin reduction.
Yeah, it was great. My chin was actually a lot bigger than this. I hated it. And I said to my husband at the time, I was like, John, look how good my chin looks. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
You know what? I love my chin. I know what you're saying, though. I know exactly what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I know somebody that they got in a car accident and they got a nose job, but they had an actual real, like, one of those knobs on their nose. Like, their nose would go out. And they were like, that's the greatest car accident ever because they had to get plastic surgery. And
they fixed it. Now their nose is beautiful. Right.
They took the knot out.
Sometimes accidents come out good. That's all I'm saying. It's not always a bad thing.
Oh, I see.
Like because of my kidney thing, I have an awesome scar that turns most women on. Because I guess just because the fact I lived through it. I don't know. But it turns them on. So, hey, I'm cool.
I'm looking for all you people to donate enough money so that I can have surgery so I actually look like my avatar.
Jenny.
Because I would date her. I would even date her.
Aw, thanks, Tubian. I like your chin too that I've never seen.
You know, you have to look in the mirror. Well, you don't have to, but I was told by a wise person a long time ago, you better like what you see in the mirror because you're gonna be looking at it for a while.
Yeah,
So-
and it's
so-
not going to get better.
Even
Never
at
going
my,
to get better.
I'm not kidding you. Even at my worst or my best, I look in the mirror and I'm like, you were one sexy mother effer. Even if I don't believe it that day,
Right.
Even if I
Right.
don't believe it, I'm like, you still got it. You still got it. You have to. You have to.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, I don't like the weight that I've gained, and I know my body is not the sexiest thing right now, but I don't really worry about it. Mostly
You notice
because
that-
I know I'm
You
good
notice
here and
just now
here.
that nobody offered any donations. Fuck you all.
How could you guys?
You know, I've
Ridiculous.
I've gained weight in a positive way, so I'm like extra cocky. I'm like, come at
Are
me.
you saying your dick got bigger?
You know, your mind is in the gutter more than me.
Well,
I was
you
always-
said
I was
I
always
gained
like a bug.
I gained weight in a positive way, so I'm like, come
I
at me,
work-
bro.
I work out a lot. Well, that's the positive. Come at me, bro. That's the West
Oh,
Hollywood.
the
Come at
muscles,
me, bro.
Muscles.
Yeah. So and I've been working out, and I'm like 205, 210, and I'm like, come at me, you mother effer. Come at me. Because I've always been around like 185, 170 when I'm depressed. Or like, going through something, I'll drop weight real quick. But that's more a guy thing too.
Fair enough.
But I've gained a considerable amount of weight. But I'm also working out. But I think I'm eventually going to have a heart attack. I have to choose between working out or cheeseburgers. And spoiler, cheeseburgers are going to win.
Oh, dude. That's what I'm going to make after the show tonight. That's such a good idea. Thank you. That's what I'm going to
I'm gonna worry if I lose any more weight than I have, sir, in the last year. And I'm gonna cut on out and go upstairs and listen to you guys some more, okay?
Okay.
It's great.
Enjoy that bath.
Probably
Nice,
just
Andy.
take a shower for tonight, but I'll catch you on the chat later.
All right, honey. Have a good
Thanks-
night. Thanks for
thanks
coming
for-
in and
thank-
showing us.
Yeah, Sarah, thanks for sharing the last piece. I didn't really want to do that by myself. Thanks.
That's
Aw.
awesome.
Anytime, honey.
We've
Bye.
been honored.
Bye.
Thank you, Jenny. I love you too.
Ow. Quit pulling. Damn cats.
The other night when we ended the stream, her and I kept talking. She keeps trying to talk me into moving to North Carolina, like that's ever going to happen.
Well, I know the general area that she lives in, and it's beautiful.
Oh, I don't care. North Carolina is a hate state.
That is the problem.
Two transgender women murdered there yesterday. I'm
What?
gonna go to North Carolina? No.
Yeah, they have
I
a
didn't even hear about. God, I gotta start watching the news. man.
they have a potential serial killer on the loose.
Fuck.
Or somebody who hates trans women.
So how come all these killings that are happening aren't happening to like white dudes? It's everybody else.
Well, there was 3 mass shootings yesterday as well.
Because they have been worked up by a religion. Religion
But-
is what causes this. Nothing else does this.
I was gonna say
Religion
because the
causes
white
it.
dudes are the ones shooting everybody
Yeah.
because of fucking Trump and religion and all bullshit. You guys are look. I'm gonna be hateful for just a second.
I'm not
people
scared
that
of
do
guns,
that
I'm scared of
shit-
religion.
You are fucking stupid. You're a sheep. You're a fucking sheep. You're following that. You're like a lemming. You're just gonna walk right off the fucking cliff with the dumbasses that are leading you. And if you're stupid enough to do that, fuck off, man. Like you're a fucking idiot
I
to
have
fall for all that shit.
I have good friends. I know people in all kinds of neighborhoods. And where I'm from, you are more likely to get shot by a middle-aged white guy than any stereotype you've ever heard of.
Oh no, I believe you. I'm sure.
And that's not with the there's the same old statistics. In real life, you are more likely to get killed by someone you know. So it's usually not all the time, but it's usually someone of someone who's a close acquaintance or someone of the same ethnicity as you, you know. But with that being said, there's a higher probability of someone like me being shot that's a 45 and over white male. I'm honestly, like, when I see people freaking out in public, I'm like, oh, what? This guy's probably going to pull a piece out or something. You know, it's sad. It was not like that 20 years ago.
No.
You know, but there's real mental health.
Honestly, you really, real quick, you have to think about the fact that we can get information so much quicker now, and the fact that there's more information being put out there. That doesn't mean shit wasn't going on. We just didn't know about it because they didn't talk about it. Nobody gave a fuck.
Maya is 100% correct when I was trying to jabber out. Absolutely, you're more likely to be killed by your significant other than anyone else. And
Another good reason for me to stay single and just have random sex. But there was something wrong with that last one. No, I'm kidding. No, she wasn't.
My whole point is, because of radicalization, I don't say religion. It's just people are becoming more radicalized. They're disenfranchised in what they think. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. They're believing the bullshit. They say, this is my country, blah, 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 not contributing to it. They're taking away from it. They're doing everything they can to spread hate. But they think somehow they have ownership because of who they are, not what they're doing. You know? So I don't even know what the answer is anymore. I honestly, I fight back. See, that's my thing.
All concept of balancing rights and responsibilities.
Yeah.
Finish that, Jenny?
I'm not going to say it again.
I'm ready to fight back. That's all I'm saying. Talk is cheap.
It's just the end I missed. I missed like 2 words.
I said that they've lost all concepts of the balance between rights and responsibilities.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard that. I thought you said something else. Never mind. Sorry. Must have been another sound or something.
That's why I always say personal responsibility. And it's not the standing up and lying. It's the actually being and doing what you say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like I always say, talk is cheaper than my ex-girlfriend. Because eventually...
Which one? Is her name Tootie?
No, they're listening. They're listening. She's probably listening, so I won't say. Because there's probably a few listening. No, about every...
So it's Tootie. Okay, check.
Every 6 months, and recently, like every 3 months, I get this. You're not gay. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Stop your YouTube channel right now. What are you doing? There's 2 different ex-girlfriends that send me messages like that about every 3 months, and one recently.
Jenny,
what does being gay have to do with it? You're not gay.
I don't have to explain myself to people who don't see being bi as anything else except for the super highway to wearing a boa and dance in your underwear at Pride.
So Sandy said, or kind of question mark, so am I an asshole for living in North Carolina?
Who, Sandy says that?
Yeah, she wants you to clarify.
No,
Jenny.
You're not an asshole for living in North Carolina, but don't expect someone like me to come and visit.
I believe right. The point is that Jenny says like, fuck that, I might get killed.
Oh yeah,
that's what it is. It has nothing to do with you. No, we love you. You're not an asshole at all.
And to answer Maya,
you can't control the other people in the state. Jenny just doesn't want to be surrounded by them.
Yes, I do have too many stalkers. People think I'm really nice because my voice is really high. If you got to know me in real life, I'm not.
He's really a dickhead. That's why I love him. I'm sorry. He's really a dickhead.
I am Colonel reporting his order. Colonel Dickhead.
Ox, yes, it's okay because we already know you're an asshole. It's fine. We know you live in North Carolina, so we still love you. It's fine. Oh, she said I wasn't trying to convince anyone to move here. Just saying. Anyway.
I knew I was waiting for Maya. I'm gonna get a stopwatch next time. I'm gonna get a stopwatch.
See, I know,
I was
right?
waiting
If you
for-
start something,
knew-
Maya's
I
got a
knew.
comment about some politics.
No,
shit.
because I was like, isn't that where what's his famous from? And it boom, it came right up in the chat, like boom.
Von Rick, by the way, I saw you a little while ago and forgot to say hi, so I apologize. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate it.
No, North Carolina was what's that fucker's name? A nasty ass senator, Jesse Helms.
Oh yeah,
Was it Jesse Helms, North Carolina?
I just think of
fucking
PD
prick.
Pablo. North Carolina, take your shirt off like a helicopter. Sorry.
Wow.
I love music videos.
Maya said she's here for you, baby. There you go.
Oh,
Will.
thank you.
I know,
you.
right? But you're right. That's Maya's. She thinks quick, and there's things she don't play around about.
No,
And
I
you
think
just
that's
went-
it.
we just went there, so
No, that's why I always say I was gonna move before. That's why I'm talking about how much value my neighbors sold their house. I was like, oh, I'm gonna paint my house. I'm gonna do all kinds of nice stuff to my house, and I'm moving. But my whole point is, before the election, I was gonna move, and then Corona hit. Life happened, and then I found out all the places that I couldn't live because all those places that voted for Trump, I can't live in your state at all. And you want me dead is what it is. You want me dead fast.
blue, baby, blue.
So it redirected where I was gonna move to.
Maya said that Jesse Helms had the decency to die in 2008.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
It wasn't decent of him. It was kind of like party time, but
I said fucking Florida. Maya said, don't get me started on Florida, damn it.
it was. I had the same kind of celebration when Rush Limbaugh died.
I knew you were gonna bring him up. This is the longest.
Everybody was like, I don't know how to feel about it. I said, I know exactly how to feel about it. Well, how do you feel about it then? I don't give a shit.
I want to know where he was buried.
Why the fuck would I? So you can go piss on his grave. Why the fuck would I care that he died? He didn't want me to be alive. So fuck him.
I always tell people,
I'm not saying I would like him to be killed, but I'm not shedding a fucking tear. I'm sorry.
When I die, tell the truth. Be like, hey, he was a nice guy. Or be like, hey, he was a rambling a-hole. When I die, say how you feel about me. I don't want
say you were a rambling ass, smart, fucking ADD in the head motherfucker who said a lot of good shit, was funny, and could be an asshole when prompted.
Don't come crying. Tell the truth. I tell people all the time. Like, I walked out at my after my dad's service and everything. My family members went up and they started talking, and I was like, I'm leaving. People hadn't seen the man in 10, 15 years, 20, 30 years, are talking about him like they seen him last week. And they were telling lies because I knew how he felt about every single person.
Oh,
they were all lying. So
they're all like, we were so close. And you're like, he fucking hated you and talked to you.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck are you talking about right now?
He was my pops was my drinking buddy back in the day. So I know how he felt about everybody. You know, like
when you're drinking, shit could be said, yeah.
And he was a senior citizen, and when you reach a certain age, like he didn't give a shit what people thought about him.
Oh yeah,
like
I'm gonna be a fucking dick when I get older because I already don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna be a fucking asshole. I never thought about it till just now. Thank you for that, Will. I have that to look forward to.
I have a saying: once you reach a certain age, you've earned the right to be a complete asshole. When you've reached a certain age.
How old is that age?
You know what? My grandmother she went full-blown dementia at 95. She would say insane things to me and I wouldn't even flinch. She would say horrible things to me. Because people that have
under the impression that once you hit retirement age, you pretty much can say anything you want.
What is considered retirement age nowadays, though?
65, baby.
That's young.
Yeah, it is.
People are living a lot. People are living a lot longer. Where I'm from, people live to be like 90 something. So you're still a junior.
Yeah, I mean, I think my average family lifespan is between like 93 and 97 or something in the 90s.
Yeah, people live
So-
forever in my family.
Yeah.
Most of the men, you know, their habits catch up to them. Scotch for my grandfather.
We had like some liver failure and some heart attacks from not taking care of them. We had more heart attacks than anything, honestly. It was just because they were they were like, you know, big fat lazy Italian guys that just sat around and ate pasta all the time, and they were big dudes.
See,
My
now
grandmother-
I'm going to shatter that myth.
I
When
mean,
when
like
I had my
400
heart
pound
attack-
big dudes.
Wait, when I had my heart attack, I was the only fat person on the cardiac floor of the hospital. Everybody else was average to skinny.
Wait a minute, you're fat?
Oh yeah, and and they were all they're the ones that were near death from their heart attacks and shit. I survived. I walked away. A lot of them didn't. One of my best friends dropped dead. Just fucking dropped dead one night, and he was absolutely perfect in body and health. And
well,
Christian.
No, he wasn't. But something,
yeah, exactly. No, we
something
call that
underlying was going on.
So,
we call that.
Don't go saying, "Oh, these fat, lazy people and the heart attacks." There's just as many goddamn skinny people that get heart attacks.
Or
Fair enough. But no, but I'm just saying that was a thing on that branch of my family tree on that side. That's what a lot of them were.
I'll let you go on that one.
Highly overweight and did not take good care of themselves. Maybe it was something genetic on that tree, but I feel like most of them were all in the same. Like they were, I don't know, they were all in the same part of the family.
You know what? On one side of my family, it's you're looked down upon if you're not morbidly obese, and on another side of my family, you're looked down upon if you're not stick skinny. So you will never make anyone happy. You just be happy for yourself.
Well,
you're
not going to make anybody happy anyway.
Maya,
live for yourself.
Grossly obese, morbidly obese. Okay, I don't hide it. It's pretty hard to hide this much. I'm not going to tell you how tall and how much I weigh, but it is outside of anybody's concept of normal. Okay, I'm fat.
Oh, JG is on your brother's channel. Should I give a kissy face to JG? They hate me. I'm sorry. I you know what, people, there's a lot of people that don't like me just because of my existence. I can't help it. I can't help it. I do it disgracefully too.
You just reminded me. It's Friday. It's Friday, so Will, who did you piss off this week?
Okay, so this week on the adventure of who did William piss off this week, let's see. Oh, I blocked a couple Nazis.
Nice.
Somebody who was claiming to be a Nazi, but they sent me a dick pic. You know, I think it's weird that people listen to every word I say. and then somebody, to repeat what I said last night, when you think you're a tough guy, when you think you're hard, don't send me your mom's address. There's 2 people that sent me addresses saying, come to my house. No, it's not your mom's fault that you're a complete degenerate, or your wife's fault who pays for everything. It's not her fault that you're a complete degenerate either. I'm just saying. And Bluey is for kids. If you're complaining about Bluey, get a life, snowflakes.
Well, you guys, there you have it. There you have it.
Oh, exactly, Maya. That's what I'm saying. Like people hate me for who I am. Like, get over it, guys. Like, I can't help it. I'm bubbly and shiny and stuff.
Maya says, Nazis hate me. I love them. I know they're going to die mad and it makes me giggle.
Exactly. Motherfuckers are sending me messages like they're trying to bang on me, and I'm like, I'm from the 90s. Like, phone banging is old. Like you can't, and you could say any. Do you remember like people would get tough on the phone, like, I'm gonna blah 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 blah. Like, you could say anything when you're not face to face with the person.
But see, it wasn't like that where I grew up. Like, if somebody said something, like there was this chick at school, and they pented us against each other because apparently majority of the student body in the middle school I was in thought that we were the two toughest chicks there. So
Yeah.
they lied to each of us about each other, what was said, blah, 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 and got us worked up. And they did this for like a week. Like they really worked on it. And they got us to fight. And she had called me and said, you know, blah, 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 you bitch, such and such time. And I was like, bitch, I'll be there. I hung up the fucking phone. And a couple hours later, I was like, hey, Mom, I'm going to take the dog for a walk over to the park. She was like, okay. It was one of the few months I lived in town. And I took the dog over there and I tied her up. And we beat the snot out of each other. But I won. But anyways.
So Tubian, is it Tubian? Bluey is an Australian, it's an Australian cartoon character they're basically going to make it more politically correct or get rid of it. And the right wingers just, they lost their tops. Their heads exploded. And Mr. Shadow Kitty, yes, somebody who was sending me, you know what? I try to keep the anonymity in my DMs, but I think I'm going to make like a 45-minute video of like blurred out D pics and like all the comments the things that people have sent me. But yes, like people are weird. After arguing with them, they're like, "Oh, so you like guys?" And they'll send me a D pic, and I'm like, "Wow." The art it's you know what it's the micro penis aggression. It's people that don't have anything else better to do. Like Maya said, like it just makes me laugh. I've pissed off quite a few people lately.
Here you guys go. Here is a link to one of the Bluey episodes so you guys can see it if you want.
And
but not
you know
now because we're on and we're awesome. Watch it later.
And I'm not for I don't even want to have to talk about political correctness because it went from a cartoon to people saying, "Oh, all lefties are this or all righties." Like people have become so like Clydesdale with their blinders on. It's not even worth having conversations with these people anymore.
Did the helmet have a swastika? Really, Nels?
No, but I actually knew somebody. I can't believe I'm telling this story. I knew somebody that was in the NLR. It's Nazi lowrider. It's a jail gang. And he was full swastikas, full of tattoos. I was stupid to ask the question of how many swastikas do you have on your D? And he showed me. He had like 3 or 4.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Like full Swazis. Full on his D. Yeah.
Full Swazis.
I'm serious. Yeah, they get bored
about that.
They get bored in jail.
If a guy gets a tattoo on his dick, does it have to be erect when they do it?
Well, it's going to look really crazy when it's. I've asked the same question. I think they stretch their skins out. As someone who's been a piercer and worked at a tattoo shop, I've never seen anyone get their penis tattooed before. I've seen above, around, underneath, everywhere else, but I've never seen someone. So I don't know what happens when you do get a tattoo there. But I've seen several people actually that have had tattoos on their Ds. It's one of those life mysteries.
I know that one of my brother, the gay brother, not the one you guys know, my gay brother, he got a Prince Albert years and years ago, and he told me, and I was like, "Ow, okay."
Yeah. I've always thought about that too. When I used to do piercing, I always thought nipple piercing was just weird. Like, because I'm a super sensitive guy, I'm super sensitive. And I did not know one person that didn't scream when I did it. But I worked on Hollywood Boulevard at a really seedy, piercing tattoo shop. So tourists would come and be like, "I'm going to get my boobs tattooed on Hollywood Boulevard," making life choices drunk.
I love it, Maya. I love it. Haters can't stand to see you smile.
Absolutely.
When you engage with anger, you've given them what they want. See, this is exactly why I was at the point with my boss that every time he said something mean, I was just going to go, "Hi, man, and just walk away." And that was it. That was going to be every response. And then we talked today, and I think we worked it out. But I don't. Even if I'm pissed off, I could be totally pissed off at him, and I will never, ever let him know that. I'm never going to give him that pleasure. Fuck that shit. You're never going to know I'm mad. Like I usually don't even go after people if I'm pissed at them. That like in the community, if somebody irritates me, I just stop talking to him. I just ignore him. I'm good.
Oh hell yeah, I'm tactile. So if you're not swinging on me, I'm going to kind of laugh at you, you know. Especially again because people were saying horrible things in the DMs and stuff, and I'm like, okay, you're a Twitter tough guy. Like anybody could say anything, you know. What is our goal? To come here, to come together, to stave off the ills of what's really going on in the shitty world around us, you know? I try to contribute and make it a little bit better instead of just making it a worse place.
Right.
Because
that was my goal. Am I not making it worse? Damn it. I'm done. I'm out of here. I thought I was making it worse.
B,
B,
I'm still waiting to hear if who you pissed off this week.
Oh, who I pissed off this week? Oh, everybody already knows I pissed my boss off. I fucking told on his ass because he was being a douche. And I was like, "Oh, you want to be a douche? Watch this."
I think it's a little bit different in the setting of work when you're like, "Hey, this person is messing with me. They need to be brought to light." Like, there's a big difference between that and you know what goes on the streets.
Right. Who did I piss off this week? I could do this. Yeah, so today my boss said to me that I needed to respect the positions above me. And I said to him in return, looked him dead in the eye and calmly said, respect has to be given in all directions. And I just stared at him like this. So that made him a little mad, and he said, "Well, I've been talking to you respectfully." And I said, "Except for that thing about the ladder that you freaked out about an hour and 15 minutes before we were supposed to leave, and it was a 5-minute task of moving a ladder." And he was being a douche, and he got snarky with me, and I just turned around and looked at him, and he said, "Do you know what I'm talking about?" And I said, because he said, "I need that ladder put back in the storage on the 3rd floor." So I just looked at him. And he's like, "Do you know what I'm talking about?" And I said, Yeah, I know what you're talking about." He said, "Well, I need that done." And then he walked away and he went in the bathroom and I heard him flip the fan on and I said, "Douchebag," because I knew he couldn't hear me. And that's the truth. But I sat him down today and I had a list on my phone and I had my notes out and I was like, let's see. Oh yeah, let's talk about Pine Sol. I told you I'm highly allergic to it, and yet you continue. Every time you use that mop bucket, you don't rinse it out. You leave it sitting there with some Pine Sol left in it. You turn the fan off, and then when I open it, it's like a Pine Sol bomb, and I get a headache almost every single morning. So if you could stop doing that, that'd be great. And then I was like, what else do I have? Hold on, there's more. And I just kept doing that. And they each said like 2 things to me, and my big boss just said nice things, and he claimed other stupid shit. And I said, "Oh yeah, you know what? Last thing. Why did you lock me out of your office? You know that's an insult, right?" And that's basically saying after 5 months of working here, me having full access to your office, that now for some reason you don't trust me. Do you find me a thief? Yeah. That's who I pissed off this week.
Never gonna give you up.
Oh, sorry. This is why I don't go to clubs. I can't dance. It's like I told my buddy Fred. Fred, if we're all black, why the fuck can't I dance? And Fred, who is a 6'4" black man, said, "I have no fucking idea." He started laughing.
That's the assumption that all black people can dance. That's the assumption. I have 3 left.
Also the assumption that all black people have a big dick and that everybody wants to be black for the big penis too. But that's not always the case. Although I've only really seen one in person in my life and it was huge. But that doesn't mean it's the case.
People love to embrace the stereotype and not the culture. And that's when people absorb anything, not just the black culture, not just the American culture, people usually embrace the stereotypes before they find out what it's really about first.
It's been mutated out of us white people, Huntubian. That's okay. I just go to the store and buy whatever size I want. I'm good. That's you guys' issue, not mine.
I get
Right,
down
Will?
though, like I'm old school. I consider it being classically trained and knowing how to dance. I'm old school. I know how to do I know how to do the
I mean, I
waltz.
could do the
I know.
waltz. I can't like get out on a dance floor at a club and dance. I
Do
am
you
like
do,
the typical like butch lesbian. See, because femme lesbians like to move their feet,
Yeah.
and butch lesbians don't want to move their feet at all. And I don't know
Okay.
why that is, but it's just
So,
a fact.
Could
So
you
I'm the
do,
kind of butch
like,
that I kind of like just kind of stand there and do the little step back and forth thing and try to move my arms a lot to make it look like I'm dancing, even though I have no idea what I'm doing. And the only thing I have going for me is rhythm, and there's nothing else there.
Do you lead?
Oh,
I'm
waltzing?
sorry, I'm
Absolutely.
assuming that you're touching each other while you're dancing. Excuse me.
Oh no, I'm talking about just regular club dancing. I wasn't talking about like a
do
couple
you
dance.
okay, so do you know how to do the electric slide? B?
I kind of remember. Yes, I've done it before.
Do you I'm trying to think.
I've done the Macarena too.
Shadow Kitty's
Okay.
wife is trans.
No, he means he's the dick. She's got a big dick. Yeah.
I
That's
do
good.
the do you know what is solid? I do the two-step. The two-step is such a solid dance.
That's all I know how to do. Just the two step. Yeah, you just kind of
catch a beat.
and you know if you're talking to her and making eye contact and all that shit, she's not gonna care if you know how to dance great. Just take her around the dance floor a few times.
I used to
Like, get
I'm
that
from
dress
Milwaukee,
off.
Wisconsin. I can only do one dance, and that's called a polka.
I dated a Salvadoranian
Hey!
a Salvadoranian
Oh, sorry.
woman, and we used to go out dancing, and all I would do was move my hips, and people are like, "Oh, you're such an amazing dancer," and blah blah blah. Like, it's just, you just kind of move to the beat. It's one of those things.
Yeah, my hips don't move like that. I'm more
I
like
had to-
the redneck white guy. When I try to dance, like my hips
I've
don't do that
adapted.
shit.
I've
Yeah.
adapted. I love dancing though. I love going out. That's the one thing.
Yeah, but you got black and Spanish like heavy in
Oh,
you, man. That's
I
just
go out.
cheating. That's
Oh,
just
I go
fucking
out.
cheating.
I'm
So
that's
mad
why
at you. I have Irish, German, and Italian. You know what that means? That means I know how to fight, drink, and fuck. I do not know how to dance.
Hey, those are my 3 F's: feed me, fight me, fuck me. Those are my rules too,
Yeah.
But I'd like to go out and dance and have a good time too. I loved it.
The 3 F's. I fucking love it.
Those are my rules.
You finally said something I've never heard you say.
Feed
That's
me,
great.
fight me, fuck me. Those are
Fuck
my
me.
rules. Those are the 3 rules.
Do one of the 3, goddammit. Pick.
They always happen anyways, so you might as well just put them in stone.
So but I would assume the order would be feed me, fuck me, fight me, because then they're mad later when you guys split
Well,
up, right?
The hope is that
Go out to dinner, end up fucking for a long time, several whatever, and then you guys get mad at each other, and then there's
that's
a fight.
more like long term. Like, all right, because what is a relationship than 2 people coming together and being like, I think I can put up with you for a while, and then you get married and you're like, I think I can put up with you for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
So what is it really? You feed me, fight me, fuck me. That's really, if you really break it down,
True.
it's really, I've been married. That's really what it was. That's what my
True.
marriage was,
Yep.
So, and I would rather it be the 2 F's, but let's be real. We live on Earth and we all clash with people, especially the people we love.
Honestly, I will tell everybody something I've never said before. Since my ex, from that we split in 2009, I have not met one woman that I looked at her and said, I am definitely going to spend the rest of my life with her. It has not happened to me since.
When I got
I
divorced,
mean, I've loved them, but
yeah.
just not like that. I mean, I don't know. I just haven't. I haven't found a person that just makes you go, oh my God. Wow. Well, I did, but I lost her. I keep saying, Will, that was my shot.
You
That was
shouldn't
my
give
shot,
yourself.
and it was bad timing. And
You know what? I had an
wonder.
ex-girlfriend that we followed each other around from the time we were 12 until the time we were 25 or 26 years old, you know? And we thought we were quote unquote soulmates, all that BS. We were just two lost kids who really liked each other and kept coming back to do the 3 Fs.
right,
over and over and over
feed
again.
me, fuck me,
But
fight me, right?
We weren't right for each other. We just really liked each other. We'd spend a year around each other and then we'd hate each other. She, you know, I would go off to another country. She'd move back to Boston. It was just ridiculous, you know? So I'm cynical. I'm extremely cynical in a lot of ways.
That's good to hear, Maya. Thank you. I thought that I was the only one that was like deficient in love.
So I've looked at a lot of people that way, but so fucking what?
Well, you know, such is life.
Said Ned Kelly.
What is? I missed something here. Well, hell, Von Rick, you want to talk about shots? They got a new one out now, so you have to have 3 shots. And soon it'll be 10.
It's going to be like the military where they have that weird gun where they just go boop, boop, boop. Okay, you're done.
Yeah, it's a pneumatic. It's a pneumatic. It pushes it through your skin with air. Yeah, and it does not feel good. I'd rather have a needle.
Wow. Boundaries are important. Boundaries are important.
Maya, can I have God instead? Goddess sounds too girly for me. But thank you.
Hey, B,
and you are amazing. I'm glad you are happy.
Hey,
For
B,
sure. Yeah, Jen.
you never asked me who I pissed off this week.
Oh, you said you didn't want to talk about anything. I was trying to be.
No, you didn't ask me.
Well, you said you had a bad day and you didn't want to talk about anything, and I'm sorry. Hey, Jenny.
I didn't have a bad day because I pissed somebody off. I had a bad day because I pissed me off.
Oh,
that's not
okay, touche.
That's not the question you're about to ask. So I'll ask it.
Hey, Jenny, who did you piss off this week?
Absolutely no one. I'm way too nice for that.
Okay,
hold
really,
on,
who'd you piss
hold
off
on,
this
hold
week?
on. The lie detector detects that's a lie.
Shut up, Maury.
I got your results back, Jenny. And the lie detector says that's a lie.
Damn it, Jerry. You didn't piss off anybody, Jenny?
Not that I know of.
Well,
Why
the
would
week's not over, honey. You
Why
still
would I
got a
wanna
day and a
piss
half.
somebody off?
Still got a day and change to do it.
I
You
talk
are
nice
too.
to everybody out in the world. You know, like you go get a coffee, you talk nice to the barista, and you talk nice to your waitresses. You talk nice
Well, yeah,
to the
'cause
cashier.
They're people.
You talk nice to the janitor.
Yeah, because they're
and
people.
people go walk away from you and they're smiling. That's
If you're near my food, I'm extra nice to you. See, but I worked in food service, so I tip heavy.
Dude, I spend like over half my time at my job like cleaning and basically vacuuming. My building's so big that I spend 3.5 hours 2 times a week just vacuuming. But it's fine. Honestly, don't tell anybody, but I fucking like it. You know why? I put my earbud in and I turn on Pandora and I'm like, what am I feeling like today? Yes. And I turn it up loud. And since I'm vacuuming, nobody talks to me. It's great. Once in a while, somebody will stop me. I mean, the residents, unfortunately, the residents of the building fucking love me. So I have that problem. And every dog that goes by, I have to pet. So sometimes I get slowed down. Sometimes it's 4 hours. But all the people in my building, they're really nice to me. And they thank me and say, this building looks like it's still brand new and it's so clean. And I really appreciate you. It's really nice to walk into it. So all I can think is either they're really, really nice people or they've lived in some shitty fucking old buildings and they know what it's like to be, they're like appreciating it. One of the
Maybe
two.
both. Maybe both. When I traveled around a lot and I was surprised on how dilapidated some cities were in this country. And then I went to certain cities like Portland and I'm like, wow, they kind of keep the city clean. And even though Portland is burning right now.
Yeah.
And if anyone doesn't know, people are rioting right now in Portland, Oregon. I think
there's about 8 major cities where people are rioting right now. Honestly.
I think they burnt down a police station today.
Oh.
At least according to Twitter. So check your sources always. I saw it on Twitter. So always check your sources. But who better than someone who literally lives there and can see the smoke from their house? You know?
Right. Right.
Always check your sources though.
So Jenny, I don't know if you can see this. Maya said, "You still got one more day to collect another hater. Get out there and live your best life."
I'm sorry, I don't behave that way. I just don't.
Okay, you know what I'm going to do for you, Jenny?
When I'm online here and everything like this, I mean, I'm being myself. I'm being real when I'm online and stuff. But I don't let that persona out to the real world because I know people will have a gun to my head and blow me away. And so I'm if I'm phony anywhere, it's to the in real life when somebody's treating me like shit out in the world.
Right.
I just know how to kill them with kindness. And something my mom taught me, and it works really fucking well.
And it's so smart too. You know why? Because you walk away feeling better than they do, instead of the other way around.
Oh,
it's great.
Wow.
It's empowering.
So I want to say something.
Feature.
I want to say something real quick. Just a PSA. Kirk Cameron looks like he's been smoking crack for 20 years. Poor guy. You know what? Evangelical thoughts kill. If you can ever save somebody, steer them away from being an evangelical because it rots the brain. Kirk Cameron, I'm looking at a picture of Kirk Cameron right now, and he looks terrible. He looks like
hold
he's
it up so we can see it.
What's there we go.
Don't tease us.
I gotta move my super light.
We'll just tip the screen.
Tip the phone to your right. No, it isn't. That's Kirk Cameron. Are you sure?
He does live.
What the fuck is his hair?
He does lives. His hair's all gray. Hey, there's nothing wrong with balding, all right?
Well, you know, last time I saw him, he had like head of hair.
No, but he just looks terrible. Yeah, credit to Mr. Bear. So if you're go subscribe to Mr. Bear and go subscribe to Mr. Bear on Twitter. Mr. Bear is
actually great.
Great, absolutely. I watch Mr. Bear's content. I love it. But they put a terrible picture of Kirk Cameron on Twitter. Oh, he looks awful. I'm of that age where I used to watch the propaganda they put out. Show me that smile once again.
You know, that's one of the reasons I like Will.
Song.
He is so fucking random. He's so random because I think it's because he's always on his phone and he's doing Twitter and he's doing Facebook and then he's like, ooh, and we're talking about like genocide and he's like, anybody see that new cartoon? You know, I don't know, something totally.
I'm constantly trying to,
but I like it, so it's okay. It keeps me going because I'll get bored with subjects in 2 seconds.
You know what? I might have to stay up tonight and put earthquake straps on everything. So for people who don't know, if you live in a place where you have frequent earthquakes, if you put something that's free hanging from the ceiling, it'll let you know if there's a tremor. We call them earthquake detectors. It's the cheapest thing. You get a Chotsky or a wind chime or something, and something that just was always sitting still. And, you know, because we have little earthquakes all the time. And sometimes I'm sitting here and I'm like, am I having vertigo? Because I have had vertigo before and it's unreal. And the ground's moving. That's why I keep on Googling.
I was going to say, no, my ass shook, not my head. That was definitely an earthquake and not.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. I was sitting here right now. I feel like everything going sideways and all my Chotskys I have are swinging back and forth. Yes, Maya, I agree. Kirk Cameron is crazy. I think that's why I'm paying attention to it because I'm like, whoa, he looks like he's on drugs. He looks like Kirk Cameron looks like he's on something, like he's been smoking G or something. You're muted, B.
I was muting myself because I'm stirring my coffee. I know it's loud.
Oh.
I just still remember him as that like kid with the hair, and like I have not seen anything about him, and I don't know, 20 some odd years, 20 years. I don't know.
It's because he's gone full bunker evangelical Christian. He is part of the far right of like the white privilege, my country. He's one of those guys that wants to stone the gays. He's insane. Kirk Cameron is insane. Yeah. And the sad thing is, like, I see this all the time. I don't get it. They all have houses out here. They have houses in the Midwest, and they talk about it all the time. But Kirk Cameron and Ray Comfort all the time make videos in the hood of Los Angeles, recent ones, because the hood is right next to the really nice part in LA, because LA is terribly planned. And I'm saying that for the people that are from the hood, not the rich people. But my whole point is, Kirk Cameron is insane. He is absolutely insane. Now I have that damn song stuck in my head.
I honestly don't know anything about him. Just whatever I've seen him in, and that was, like I said, that's been years. I don't know if he's been in something more recent, and maybe I just don't know, or I don't remember. I suck at movie titles, names. Suck.
If you look it up, he's made a string of really shitty Christian movies. I have 2 of them. They're called Tribulation Force. It's basically what Christians think is going to happen when they all disappear, and people.
It's called what?
I can't say it without laughing. Hold on. Tribulation Force. I have 1 and 2. They take the book of Revelations literal, and so they play it out in modern times. I both VHS I got for one was 49 cents, and this is modern times. I mean, like last year or a year, and the other one I think I got for like 30 cents. But I laugh at Christian propaganda, especially crappy Kirk Cameron movies, because I smoke. I'm from California. No, we have really good pot here.
Oh, that's right. Wait a minute. It just dawned on me. Yes, he was doing all those fucking movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. The people you see in heaven movies.
He is he was before Pure Flix. The guy who is in all those Pure Flix movies, Kirk Cameron wishes he was that. He was basically that guy before they started making all those crappy movies now. But he's been making Christian propaganda since the 90s. Nonstop.
That's right. I totally forgot. I had somebody different pictured in my head. See, I told you I'm bad with names. I was thinking of another actor from that same time era with brown hair. Same age.
If you watch the documentary, even I think her name's Joanne Kearns, the mom, she's like, oh, when he went evangelical Christian, like he went insane overnight because he had handlers. All of a sudden he had he found Jesus and wants to destroy everybody who doesn't believe in he's insane.
Oh yeah.
And his movies are really bad. And the guy from Walker, Texas,
wouldn't know. I've never watched.
I'm obsessed with B movies. I love B movies. I love shitty acting. Like when you see an extra smoking a cigarette in the back.
Right. Something stupid happens.
Oh,
I saw a car in a movie one time that was set in oh my God, what was that? I don't know. It was like a really, really old movie. And you could see the top of a car, and I was like, that's the top of a fucking car.
Exactly.
I know it is.
Exactly.
I know it is.
And
I'm going to tell you, I've been on movie sets. They really, no joke, they tarp off sections and make it look like something else, or they'll paint stuff on it. So from a distance, it looks like there's a house back there. And right behind that is a bunch of fucking porta potties for everybody shit in while they're on set. And then they'll yell action. And if you're in a certain range, they have key grips all the way around the outside of the area they're filming in. And if you step close to that, they're like, stop.
I live
and
in
they
LA.
do this. Rolling,
I-
we're rolling, we're rolling.
Oh
we're
yeah.
rolling.
Oh,
yeah, they're not. And if you say something, if I sneeze too loud, they would have kicked me off the set.
Oh yeah.
That delays production. You're out of here. They don't care who you are. You better be the director.
Here too, it's the same here too. I told you, they filmed Power Rangers on my street when I was a kid. They would stop
Crazy.
filming. They would stop filming when the school got out because all the school kids were walking home. So that's why I saw the Rangers smoking their cigarettes, because they'd always get a break when we were walking home.
They're out there like, that wasn't a cigarette, Will.
I was of that age. No, they were smoking. I grew up in the era where people smoked with the windows rolled up in their Dodge Ram trucks, When I never forget I'll never forget the day my pops was like, "What do you mean we can't smoke in Bob's Big Boy anymore?" Like he was mad.
Dude, I remember smoking at McDonald's when I was like fucking 20 years old. I remember that shit.
When I was a kid, every Sunday after
Denny's, all those places, you could smoke everywhere. They had like smoking, non-smoking.
My family would come together and we would go to all the restaurants where you could smoke. And we would have like 30 people. We'd have a whole section. My entire family would be in the smoking section. There'd be babies. It was a different era.
That's how it was back then. My mom smoked when she was pregnant for all of us.
My ex-wife and I, we talk about this all the time.
By the way, nobody came out fucked up.
We grew up around parents who smoked around us. Like everywhere.
My mom stopped smoking when I was 2, so I don't remember her being a smoker. But
my dad was a smoker, and like he eventually graduated to like having his own space to smoke and everything, But like I grew up in that era with cigarette vending machines. It was a different time.
They would lobby the hotels, and half the mom and pop restaurants had
ashtrays on
there were stand-up ashtrays everywhere. I actually took a picture. I have it on my computer. I took a picture of an old ashtray on the wall, and it said like, put them out here or something like that. Well, here, I'll let you talk. I'll find it. It's actually pretty cool.
No, Mr. Shadow Kitty is.
But it was so old, I had to take a picture of it.
Kirk Cameron, every time he tries to give a lecture anywhere. See, it's so different out here. That's why I don't know why he moved out here, because when we protest, we'll show up with like 1,000 people and signs, big signs you can see from the street,
It's true. No joke about that. Oh, come on.
But yeah, I kind of grew up in the last era where people smoked everywhere.
Oh, here it is.
That's why I like going to Vegas. It reminds me of the old school where people are just acting like it's the 80s or something. They're just smoking everywhere. And I don't even smoke cigarettes anymore. Man, if I say Vegas one more time, a bellhop and a hooker is going to show up at my front door and give me some red slippers. I've done more advertising for that place.
That old as fuck. And I just took that picture like 10 years ago, and it was about 15 years ago, and they weren't even allowed to smoke on property anymore. I don't even know why it was there. It's like somebody forgot to take it down, and it was outside of one of the big toilet paper manufacturing companies.
I don't know
which one.
Oh, I gotta get that sign. I have 2 signs. I have a no smoking sign in here, and I have a sign that says any unattended children will be towed at your expense back to your house. It's buried. Because my son has autism, I was always out there with my son. So all the neighbors were like, "Oh, Will's out there. He can watch my kid." Then all of a sudden there'd be like 10 neighborhood kids out here. And I told my neighbors, like, I'm gonna start.
Well, because you get a couple together, it looks like fun, and then more come, and then it looks like fun, and more come, and then next thing you know, you're in the middle of the street with fucking 20 kids, and the parents are getting drunk in the backyard by the pool.
I told them, like, I'm gonna start charging your asses. I'm gonna start charging. All the kids are grown up now. They're all in high school and driving.
I'm gonna start charging you.
It was, what though? That was the one crazy thing about my neighborhood, though. Like, there would be people walking by, and they'd see all these blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids like following me around, and people would come to my house like, what is this? Who the F is this guy? You know, good time.
Right. He came up with the Croco Duck anti-evolution argument.
Kirk Cameron was smashed on Dateline. He did a Dateline with Ray Comfort where he said he was going to prove that God exists, and he got laughed off stage. You should look at it on YouTube.
Really?
Oh, he got laughed off stage.
You should throw that link up there.
Oh, he's a freaking clown. He is a clown. It's just funny when you see people become evangelicals. But on the flip side, because I always try to see the other side, there's people I know that have freaked out on me because I say I'm bi on YouTube. People I know that have known me my entire life that have freaked out on me. So everybody has their side when they think. So I think Kirk Cameron's insane. He'll probably think I'm insane,
Well, don't be yourself, Will. That's all I have to say. Don't be yourself.
What can I do? It's sad when my Mormon neighbors are more accepting than people I've known my entire life.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's pretty bad.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
So yeah, but he got smashed on Dateline. He's kind of fallen into the evangelical cult, because let's be real, it's a bunch of really, really, really rich white guys who are like, we need to keep our religion going. We need to you should watch his old Fox News interviews. He says some horrible things about the LGBTQIA+ community. He says horrible things.
Oh my God.
He's drinking the Kool-Aid and passing it out.
No, he ain't just drinking. He's making batches of that shit. He's chugging it while he's making them and pouring it.
He's definitely one of those people that you have to keep an eye on, and tell him like, hey, no, you're a douchebag. I think that was the Crocoduck episode. He got laughed off stage. Like,
that's ridiculous, man. Like a Crocoduck.
And the sad thing is, though, is that people take him. I heard a legitimate argument from someone who's extremely intelligent saying, like, hey, if you find that fossil, game over. We suck. God exists. He was like, find me that fossil,
Right.
But they're legitimizing his crappy arguments. So it's intelligent people trying to answer these idiotic things, but in return, they're legitimizing his insanity.
Yeah.
You can see I'm not a fan of young earth creationists or evangelical Christians.
Oh, evangelicals are horrible, man. They will take every dime out of someone's checking account if they can. They're flying around in jets, and they got 10 cars, and they live in these huge mansions. It makes me sick. It makes me sick how religion does that shit to people.
Exactly. If evangelicals, that's the difference. Evangelicals do force their views and their ways onto people.
Yeah.
That's why it just makes my skin crawl.
They get they literally brainwash people. Have you ever watched them? It blows my mind. I'm like, how are you falling for this shit? Are you serious now?
I couldn't have
just blows my mind.
I couldn't have someone standing over me telling me what I think. You can F right off with that.
Yeah.
When someone tries to, as a matter of fact, if I'm arguing with somebody and they say, you think this way, oh, I'm done. Because you don't even get what I'm saying. You're not listening to me. You're just waiting for me to stop talking,
I'm sorry, what were you saying? I was waiting for you to stop talking.
But in general, like, that's how you know someone's not listening, when you're in an argument, because they're just waiting for you to take a breath so they can give you their rebuttal. They already have found transitional fossils. Like, a lot of...
Yeah.
Well, see, and that's another thing. Kirk Cameron's lingo is from the 80s. So a lot of... modern science smashes his arguments already. So it's not even... it goes back to why I don't argue with people like that.
For anybody that's interested, that's the link to what Tuvian's talking about.
They will talk in circles. They will just talk in circles over and over, That's why I don't get in arguments with people like Antangelo, because I feel like it's just going to go in circles. And I'm going to get annoyed and tell them to F off. It's true. I know myself, you know.
Yeah.
I know eventually I'm going to be like, man, okay, I'm going to treat you like a kid now. Because I reach a point where when someone starts repeating themselves, I treat them like a child. Like, okay, good for you. Okay, here's some attention. Goodbye, you know.
Right. Absolutely.
I like listening to the Zealots. It's fun to just listen to them tell jokes. Basically, is what they're doing.
There's a difference.
Comedy act.
There's a difference. I'm actually subscribed on YouTube to some crazy people, but I'm not going to interact with them. I like hearing their insanity. It makes me laugh. There's some evangelicals where I'm like, wow, you are insane. You know, but I would never get in a conversation with them because I know it'd be pointless. And then they attack you and they tell you you're going to hell. And then the cycle, you know, is the same apologetics is what I'm trying to say. No. Yeah. Maybe Jenny Jeebus.
What?
We were talking about the crocodile.
Well, yeah, I heard that. Fine, show me a crocodile. You show me a crocodile.
That's why
I'll go down to my knees. I'll give you a blowjob and I'll say, "You are right. God is real." But I ain't worried about it happening.
That's why I said the same thing 5 minutes ago. It's because it's true. That's why he got smashed on television. Because
that's on YouTube. I would love to go see that.
Just type it in, Kirk Cameron. I think it's a Dateline or it's one of those shows, and it was a while ago. It was him and Ray Comfort, and he goes up against atheists, and he got destroyed, and literally laughed at, And there were people saying like Christians were like, "Wow, I'm disappointed." Go watch it. I'm not going to.
Talking about 2012.
I think so.
Okay.
Tim and Comfort.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they're in a debate, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything because you got to watch it. Oh.
There you go, guys. How you doing, Christian? Good to see you, man.
But yeah,
there's a link if you want to jump in.
I collect crappy movies, even and I love Christian propaganda ones because, like I say, I smoke really good weed because pot's legal here, and I love to watch it and point and laugh. There are some though, I won't even lie, like I tried to watch the Omega Code as an adult, and I only could take like a half an hour of it. It's with it's just, you know, because it's so made up. It's so made up. And I forgot how much like they used to be like, oh, this came from the chalice of God or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's such BS. It was just such BS as an adult. I was like, wow, I can't believe I sat through this whole movie when I was like 19 or 20, you know?
Well, you know, that's just one of those things where you were learning. And obviously you paid attention.
Well, I was a believer. I wasn't a believer. I was scared into the religion. And so I was drinking the Kool-Aid.
Oh, I'm so shocked right now. I get scared into a religion.
And so if anything was on the level, I would pay attention to it. But it was all mumbo jumbo and made up and BS.
Right.
Especially Hollywood movies. They overinflate everything to get your butt in the seat. That's the whole point, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Is somebody streaming tonight? Who am I forgetting is streaming tonight?
We have movie night.
Okay, it is movie night. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What time does that start?
11:15 Eastern.
11:15 Eastern. Okay. So we're not getting close to it. Okay. Cool.
I am gonna jump off in a little bit though, because it's Friday. It's been a long week.
No, that's cool. I'm actually tired because I stayed up late and got on Purple Stream for a little bit last night, and then I couldn't go to sleep for a while because my brain wouldn't shut up. So
I know the feeling.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with killing it here in a second. Absolutely.
You know what, B? I do that all the time. So this is the godless sewing cycle. I'm gonna give it away right here. Around 9. So my son's gonna get picked up. He's gonna go to his mom's house.
Right.
I'm gonna walk around my house, close all the windows, water all the plants. I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm gonna eat something and then be up till like 3 or 4 in the morning. or I'm gonna fall asleep and wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and just be awake.
Jenny, that's on Purple, right? On Purple Stream?
No, that's on Side Strike.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
not.
Side Strike.
It's been a while.
Right. I'll
How
put a link in for everybody. So
how
when
long has
we're
it been,
done-
Jenny?
Purple's
Everybody
only
can-
been on. I invited him on just several months ago, so he's still a rookie.
What I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Is that the one with the cartoon with the glasses?
What?
Nick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you just type in Side Strike, it should pop right up.
Yeah, it did.
Especially
I just wanna make sure.
because you have the atheist algorithm. Like there are certain things I type in and it comes right up because we're all weirdly interconnected.
Yeah, I'll have
No,
to.
but
I'll have to go back
how
and
long-
sub to them and everything.
How long has it been, Jenny?
It's got to be like 2 months.
Yeah, it's been a while because I got all into it, and it's been a while since you guys. I've fallen asleep to it twice, except for there was one time what's their name? Tornado.
Mhm.
He yelled and I woke up, and I'm not even saying that to be like, oh, like I'm the royal emperor or anything like that. But I heard drink and I sat up and I was like, oh, I fell asleep watching YouTube.
Yeah, no. Tornado has a little bit of volume regulation issue.
Because I listen to things at a certain volume, but I could pass out to semi-loud things, and but when it exceeds a certain octave, my parent kicks in, and I'm like, oh, someone's in the house. What's going on? What's going on? It was more funny than anything else. It was more hilarious.
Word. How you doing, brother? We're actually talking about getting off of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another. Yay.
Too bad Otangelo's not here right now, so he could have his mind blown since my brother just came into the chat.
You know what? He stomped off because we weren't
Yeah.
giving him enough attention,
Yeah, no. We talked about it for a minute, then we moved on, and then
Yeah.
everybody forgot about him. So yeah,
I just
True.
don't like I said, there's a lot of people I don't like. Do you know what I don't do? I don't go in their chat. I don't watch their stuff. I move on with my life.
literally the only time I watch stuff that I'm not really necessarily like looking out to watch, that people that aren't in our community, is when Richard goes on streams with some of the Christians. I'll go and watch because I love to watch him be like, no,
Same.
no, you said this.
But
That's not right. You want to try that again?
I've learned to not get up in the chat. I told you a million times I got in fight with a William Lane Craig protege wannabe, and then I saw him at Walmart. These people are frauds. Like they're just, or he just didn't, or I scared him. I don't know which one it was, but he's really nice to me in person, face to face.
Oh, Nels timed him out. That's why he left. He didn't come back after that.
I'm so glad you did because I can't take it after a while.
Hey, I was being nice though. I was being cordial and just told him, just don't be a jerk. Because he came in and the first thing he did was he insulted everybody, and I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. Do you know? Okay, so B, let's take out the whole LA part. Let's take out. Okay, if you go to the suburbs with all the white guys with their shoes,
khaki shorts and polo shirts,
wearing the New Balance shoes.
Yeah.
If you walked up to a crowd like that talking trash to them, you get punched. If you walked up to somebody, to the cholos, if you walked, it doesn't matter. If you walked up to somebody, in a normal situation and walked in talking shit, somebody's gonna have issue with it.
Yeah, you can't do that and expect someone not to say you asshole.
Especially in certain places, someone's gonna be like, "Have you lost your mind? Like, what is wrong?" So, I sometimes I take exception to people who walk in the room and instantly call me a sinner and tell me I'm going to hell. He can F right off with that. That's what
I wanted to show that to Richard. I was telling him I did an overlays for my channel. But it covers up the name of the person down the bottom left, so I killed it when Andy was on here. Just out of respect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's just fairy tales to scare children. That's all.
No, it's I don't know. I don't understand how anybody can just follow that shit and be like, this is my life. This is everything. This is
and that's another thing.
I just don't get it, man. How can you I don't know. Maybe I'm too strong-willed. Maybe I'm not weak-minded enough. I don't know what it is, but I just don't understand how anybody can just, okay, I would prefer grape Kool-Aid this time. I just don't get it.
I agree. Also, it shocks me when people do not emulate. They don't practice what they preach, as the cliche goes.
Oh yeah.
Since I was a kid, that is quite literally where I was like, this is BS. Because no one around me was living what they were telling me and telling me
help each other out. We're all brothers and sisters, except for that homeless guy and the crackhead. Fuck them.
No,
and screw the black guy and the Spanish dude too. I'm going to go into my nice house and fucking live in luxury and buy a goddamn sink for my bathroom that would feed them for a year. And
when I was a kid, I noticed right off the bat how we would go into church, we'd clasp hands, you'd turn at your neighbor, then we'd get in the church parking lot and my dad's cursing people out and people are flipping them off and like, it's all BS. It's all,
I'm telling you, man, when I worked retail right on the edge of this bad area, like where the drugs and shit started, was a couple blocks away from where I worked. So we got some strays that came in there.
Oh yeah.
And these people would come in on like a Sunday and they'd be like dressed nice and the kids got little suits on, the little boys are all cute in their little suits and little girls got their little pretty frilly dresses on, their hair's all done up and they're just adorable. And then they come back like 2 or 3 days later and the kids are filthy and the diapers hanging off their ass and they're yelling at them, "Come on, damn it." What the fuck?
Oh yeah.
What the fuck?
It's a lot.
And like I said the other day, if every single Christian that had even the Christians that have the means, which is a lot of them, just helped one fucking person that needed help, we would have like our homeless and all these starving children and all this shit would be almost gone. So until you guys are going to do that, don't talk shit to me about how your way is better and more moral. Because I know more atheists that donate to fucking helping each other and helping children and helping everybody else than I ever saw in the Christian community. And you should never apologize, brother.
Well, they're too busy these days, punishing transgender children and
right,
making sure that they don't have any hope of a life.
Yeah. It's true. Now they're holding
that, but
I'm sorry.
They deny that.
Oh, of course they do.
They're doing the Lord's work. It's all good.
They're doing the government's work. It's too fucking stupid to see it. That's what it is. Just people. They're just people controlling people. If people think that those rich ass evangelicals and shit have their hands in somebody's pocket and somebody else has their hand in their pocket, you're full of shit. There's politics all wrapped up in all that shit too.
Absolutely.
It's all interconnected.
It's even around here, it's who owns the bigger piece of land. That's really what it's about.
It's true.
It's
Night,
sad.
Randy. Yeah, it's you're right, and that's just how that's what our society has always been based on. It's been
It's so
based
sad,
on
like-
you're going to go to hell because you're a sinner, and who has more money.
Yeah.
Because that makes so much sense.
Even in my neighborhood, when people ask me, they're like, "Oh, like, so you rent?" And I'm like, "No, I own my house." And they're like, "Oh," they're shocked. And it's not even about race anymore. It's the fact that, most people rent around here now because everything's owned by corporations.
Yeah, you were telling me that, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Airbnbs are literally illegal in LA County, but they still have them, but they're illegal because they've bought literally East
Right.
LA, north of East LA. Like they've purchased neighborhoods that were traditionally just nice neighborhoods, kind of in LA, like literally in the middle of the city. But gentrification isn't always a good thing when corporations are doing it.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's cut this off. I'm tired anyways. I need to go to bed early tonight. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, like I said,
I might pop in the Side Strike for a little bit in the
Welcome to
chat.
movie night.
I'm gonna watch it. Like I said, I'm probably fall asleep to it again.
I might do that. Yeah, I mean it's coming on in like what 30 minutes. So
I used to watch it all the time. Jenny is the one who directed me over there months ago. You know what's funny? It feels like that was like last week, and that was 4 or 5 months ago when you told me to when I finally started watching it. Time is such a funny thing.
So if any of you guys are gonna stay up for a little bit, then Tobin, an Airbnb is when you go online and rent a place to stay in another city. So you're kind of like temporarily renting a house or apartment or room or whatever it is. And Airbnb started this big thing where they connect people with businesses and other blah 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 blah. So yeah, that's what an Airbnb is. So I could go to like Willstown and go on Airbnb shit online and find a place to stay and all that shit and pay for it and then just go stay there. And versus having to stay in a hotel room.
Yeah. Like being in a neighborhood instead of a hotel room.
Right. All right. Well, everybody that's going to stay up, like I said, there's the link to Side Strike for the movie night. Everybody go over there and give them a sub. And they only have a few more subs than I do. So everybody go over there and sub to them and show them some love. Poor sucker. I don't have shit. Anyway, so everybody go over there, show them some love, and have a good night. I appreciate all of you guys coming in. Thank you, Will, as usual.
Awesome.
It's your new last name. Will is here as usual. And Jenny, thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate you.
Oh, it's nice when I come.
Had to get one more Jenny joke before it was all over with.
I'm gonna get a
Standard
hi-hat.
salutation.
I'm gonna get a hi-hat in here. I gotta get a hi-hat.
Creative.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody have a good night. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. And have some peace.